5 FM. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Stats Norsworthy.
Off and rolling on a Friday. 3 hours. We have you. We'll take you to the weekend. Welcome in December 9, 2022 edition. Sportstime on Sports 56 with Gabe and with Stats. We're always live from the Family Leisure Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. I am former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn on Twitter at G_Kuhn71. Producing the program is Brian Dacus from our team Memphis at Brian_Dacus on the Twitter machine. Brian, how are you?
Gabe, I am fantastic. Today is the 25th annual Silent Night game at Taylor University. I know everyone's clamoring to watch it at 5 o'clock, but I'm telling you, stick with us till 6.
First bucket, and they sprint on the court,
first 10.
First 10.
They got to get to double digits. Okay. Then they storm the court, and it becomes the greatest atmosphere in college basketball after that until the very end where they lock arms and sing Silent Night.
Did we get the E60 today on it? I'm sure we did, right?
I don't know. I've been at work all day.
We get it every year.
Do they get a technical?
No, because it's an automatic timeout for Taylor University. They're 23-1 in the last 24 games of this. So
this is just Taylor University privilege, huh?
I'm not saying it's a lock, but it's a lock.
And you hear him. He does pre and post for the Ole Miss Football Radio Network. He's my partner, Brett Stats Norsworthy on Twitter, at Brett Norsworthy. Brett, how is it going?
Silent night for Taylor University.
Taylor University.
I thought you were going to say they do a deal where they don't play like any music or the arena goes silent. The Mavericks tried that.
Everyone goes silent.
Mark Cuban responded to his fans. A lot of fans got tired of the constant drumbeat of something, and they tried no in-house music and didn't work.
So, Taylor University, what level?
In AIA.
Okay. Did you see the D3 game last night? Well, you didn't see it.
All three did not.
Did you see the story on the D3 game last night?
I did not.
Grinnell College, D3 powerhouse in men's basketball, won a game against, I guess, Emmaus Bible College, 124-63. The story of it, they shot 111 three-pointers. They shot 111 three-pointers in that game.
I'm willing to bet there's never been a curfew violation on the road by Emmaus Bible College.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm sure they kick people off pretty easily too if you do anything bad.
Bet they're fun at parties.
Probably strict rules. But they won 124-67, shot 111 three-pointers.
Made how 40. Many?
So the other 4 points were free throws.
Free throws.
At the charity stripe.
Yeah, how about that? That's something.
They covered.
Yeah, they did.
You think they had a line on it?
Somewhere.
Who has that line?
In the stands.
I hope you don't know the person who has that line.
It's the 5 students that came to the game last night, and they're all in the corner. I got $5 on this one.
That many threes, they need to ice their shoulders down.
They got a guy in a visor and like yellow tinted lenses in the corner taking bets.
Exactly.
You know it.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Now, first off, our show brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. On the show today, as far as our guests are concerned, 3:30, Alan Bell will join us and talk some wagering. I don't think he has Emmaus Bible College or who was it? Who's the other name?
Grinnell.
Yeah. Grinnell. Or Taylor. I don't think he has
any of those, but we will talk
about
those
in a parlay.
We will talk about the Army-Navy game and the link. Are you go Army beat Navy or go Navy beat Army?
Oh, I'm always for Army. My dad served proudly in the Army. I'm always for the Army. Retired a major in the Arkansas National Guard, part of the Army. I'm always for the Army. I always pull for them. They won the year I went, and this is the last one in Philly until 2027. Yep. They go Baltimore, Washington, Foxborough, MetLife before they get back to Lincoln Financial.
I got grandfather in the Army. Also, had a buddy who went to Army. Was a captain on that team, John Voight. Shout out, my guy. He's still. I think he's doing his last year of service now. I think he'll probably be on the sideline. He's working with the football team for his last year. So good for him. Brian, any allegiances?
No, I don't have any.
Okay.
My grandfather couldn't serve. He didn't have any fingers.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, he sawed them all off when he was 16. On accident.
Okay.
Accident.
I feel like there's a story there. Yeah. Should I ask?
I don't know if there's a story. I think he was just cutting some wood, doing the daily work, and then and
All 10 or just 5?
I'm
Brian,
not sure.
why are you making me laugh
I think
on
it's like
this? I should not
6
be-
or 7. It was most of them. And yeah, they're just all
shouldn't be
gone.
laughing.
And so the
So
draft
over and under on lost fingers was over?
was over.
Why is
And
he
then
smiling? Why is he making us? Why is
The
he got
draft came around, and he said, "Well, I can't hold a gun, or I can't pull a trigger on a gun." So he said, "Well, I guess we can't use you."
That's a deferral. No
yeah.
doubt.
So how about it?
Why you got to make me laugh, man? Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling?
Nothing sad about it.
That's unfortunate
It's
stuff,
fine.
man. That's unfortunate
Lived
stuff.
a great life.
Yeah.
Just didn't serve in the military.
Yeah, I get you. That's something.
Or do most things people do with fingers. Because he didn't have any.
I get that, Brian. I get that. 4 o'clock. Bruce Marshall. And by the way, Alan Bell will talk about the NFL weekend and everything else with Week 14 on the precipice. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall will join us from the Gold Sheet. Sure, he has some good stuff to talk about the World Cup. We had a big upset.
Bruce will join us live at 11 o'clock his time in Lugano, Italy.
Oh, wow. We actually just had a final in the World Cup. The Dutch just beat Argentina 3-2 in the last minute.
They came back.
It looked like
In extra
Go
time, they
Holland.
must have tied it up.
Yeah, it was like it looked like a penalty kick or something. I don't know. I just turned it on, but it looked like they were getting a little active after the game between the two teams.
And Brazil.
Not friendly.
Brazil got upset, huh? Croatia.
Look it up. Is Dutch ever won it? Netherlands ever won it?
I just looked it up and I can't remember.
I know Croatia hasn't.
Yeah. But big upset. We'll talk to Bruce about that also. We'll talk to him about the weekend in football as well.
My Morocco's still alive
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.
Yeah, I won't watch, but go Morocco.
You're Morocco.
I'll keep you updated.
Thank
Don't worry.
You're Morocco, huh?
You live
You're
tweet it?
really
No.
You're really
know
rocking
who
with
they're playing.
rocking with Morocco.
But who are they playing?
They're Portugal.
There you go.
Portugal ever won it?
I bet.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can tell you, Netherlands, they got runner-up in 2010, third place in 2014.
What's
Didn't
that get you?
qualify in
What's that
2018.
get
I guess in the Olympics, it gives you a silver
Hang a
and
banner?
bronze medal, but I don't know what it does in the
Hang a
World Cup.
banner. You got to hang a banner, right?
They would, but I mean, like Argentina, Brazil, they wouldn't.
Right. Well, I mean, they probably would. It's every 4 years. You get in the top 3 a year.
You think Brazil's proud of runner-up?
No, but at the same time, I mean, it's
Portugal never
theoretically
won.
something to celebrate.
Highest Portugal's ever gotten, third place, 1966.
I want a first-time winner.
Okay. All right.
Morocco.
Or Portugal.
Portugal.
There you go. 4:30. Ty Richardson will join us from ESPN Arkansas. Razorbacks in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl versus Kansas. That's fun. Also, we'll talk about that basketball team who just lost Trayvon Brazile
Devastating
for the
injury.
year.
For winning
Massive.
it all.
Massive.
For going to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. But Nick Smith Jr. is back out there. We'll ask him what he thinks about Arkansas basketball under Muss this year. 5 o'clock, we have some Tiger basketball to get to. Tigers are about to go on a stretch of 3 games really, of very big importance. Auburn this Saturday, 4 o'clock in Atlanta. There's going to be mostly a pro-Auburn crowd. Alabama on Tuesday, and then they will finish it off against A&M at home. Should be the most winnable game of the 3, but we'll talk to him about what to expect there. We'll also have some serious discussion on that as the show goes along. Grizzlies versus Pistons tonight, 7 p.m. Nice
Jalen Duren's
homestand.
homecoming.
Yeah, Jalen Duren will be back in town.
Good rookie year so far.
Yes. What are his stats so far?
About 7-7.
Yeah, nothing insane.
But good.
Coming off the bench, right? So, I mean, he's getting into it. James Wiseman just got brought up, by the way. Speaking of former Tigers, just got brought back up to the big team.
Who would y'all draft? Those 2 players. You got the pick of those 2. Who do you take?
If they were both coming out, well,
Right now.
what I know right now,
Going forward, who do you take?
Jalen Duren. What I know right now, unfortunately. But if they were both coming out in the same class and I had my choice between the 2, definitely James Wiseman. I'm blown away.
James Wiseman.
Yes, I'm blown away.
But the now, no.
I never thought he was going to be the best center in the league by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought he'd have a better NBA career than he's had so far.
Is he a bust?
Right now, yes. But I also don't know if he's been
recoverable.
Yes.
Yes, I don't know if he's been provided the full chances yet. He needs to get in the swing of things, and it's tough in Golden State to really be a center, to be a big. I mean, that is a guard-oriented system, and they don't really develop those guys necessarily. Now, at 5:30, we'll do the First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast. We have one game, again, Army-Navy to pick in college, and then we will pick a lot of NFL. We'll get our locks and shocks there. 5:45, we'll get out with Taco Bell Crunch Time. listener line, 901-360-8255. You can watch us live and message us on our socials, Sports56 WHBQ, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And go to our website every hour of the podcast and featured audio, Sports56WHBQ.com.
The next 3 for the Memphis Tigers, very important. But speaking of recoverable, even if they lost all 3, I don't think they will. But if they did, we saw last year that they could recover from that start.
But it took 2 wins it took sweeping Houston. But it
was recoverable.
Yeah. But this year, that Houston team, that's the one thing you don't want to put yourself in that position, I think, grand scheme of things, this particular year. Like, will you have a chance? Will you get those quad one opportunities? Yes. But you don't have quad one opportunities anywhere else in the AAC. I think that, I was looking at the net rankings.
Where did they have it last year?
And obviously, they move a lot, but I don't even know if there's at the highest, there'll be a quad 2 chance in the rest of the AAC. I think the closest I saw was 90-something.
UCF?
And that was UCF. Yeah. I mean, those are the 2 quad 1 opportunities they'll have in conference. Outside of that,
but 2-1 puts this kind of on easier street, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think getting a win against Auburn would be massive, and then you're playing with house money.
Unimaginable.
I mean, if you somehow steal this game from Auburn in Atlanta, you're playing with house money against Alabama. I don't think
this one's the steal game. I think Tuesday night's the stealing one.
You're still playing the number 11 team in the country against a hostile crowd, right? If you're able to get it,
how hostile? I don't think it's going to be.
I mean, it's going to be what?
It's not going to be Tuesday night hostile.
It's going to be what, 75%, 80% Auburn? Hour and a half down the road?
5,000, 6,000. I mean, how many are going to be there?
Fair amount, I would imagine. I don't know if it'll be filled to the brim by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll be relatively hostile for the Tigers, and that's a good team.
Basketball can get forgotten in downtown Atlanta.
No, I think that Auburn team is inconsistent. That's why I say I just don't know about that game against Alabama. I mentioned it yesterday. According to ESPN's Basketball Power Index, Tigers have a 35% chance of beating Auburn, 18% chance of beating Alabama at their place.
What are the other games in Atlanta around this game?
I was just pulling it up. It's like 4 other games.
Let us know those in just a moment.
I'm trying.
But so far with the Tigers, I think we came into this year.
So far, so good.
7-2. I think most people thought they'd be sort of right here. I had them right here. I had their 2 losses. I'm just about undefeated here.
Everybody's right on.
But if the preseason expectations, if you thought they were going to be some top 6 seed, I don't know if you still think that. But if you thought they were going to be a bubble team, double-digit seed, maybe where they were last year, 8 or 9, I don't see why you would think any differently based on what we've seen so far.
But this is a seed line game tomorrow, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Now, how much do the Tigers move up that seed line with a win tomorrow? That's an interesting question.
From what to what? What are you talking?
Yeah, when we're talking NCAA
9 to 8.
I think
it's seed line singular.
I don't
think it's seed lines.
They beat Auburn. I think potentially, obviously, they already have some votes in the AP Top 25. I think potentially they'd be right there as one of the next teams receiving votes in the next AP if they beat Auburn.
Let's say, for argument's sake, right now they're a 9 seed. Win tomorrow. What would that do for them?
I think about 7 at the moment, but then very, very easily could fall with a loss against Alabama.
And then an ugly AAC loss.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of – I'm just talking very, very broad right now. We're still in December.
But tomorrow we'll hold up when Auburn gets into the SEC and they beat Kentucky and they finish 12-6, 13-5 in league play.
Your big hope. Ole Miss, Stanford, Nebraska can at least stay afloat and look like decent wins by the end of the year.
Be around 500 in their leagues.
Right. Just put themselves in
You don't need Ole Miss going 4-14 in the SEC.
You have some wins that could potentially age well, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I really don't know who any of those teams are yet. Stanford's not a great team. Nebraska's usually not a great team, but they're 6-4 and they have a win over Creighton at Creighton. That's worth a lot. They have some resume potential already in the bag that some teams in their same position, sort of that mid-major painting, right? They have the wins that some of those teams don't have.
Tomorrow's first big moment,
Yep.
galvanizing, get near the TV Tiger game of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, what they have to do, though, they have to keep Auburn off the offensive glass. Auburn has
DeAndre Williams has to stay in there, too. It can't be 2 fouls, 1 super dumb by the first TV timeout.
So he'll probably draw the assignment of Joni Broom, obviously the Morehead State transfer, and there's potential for that. I'm more worried about DeAndre against Alabama on Tuesday, dealing with Brandon Miller the whole game. I feel like that could be a recipe for disaster. Brandon Miller will take it right at him.
He's got to play. He's got to be in there. He's got to play.
You got to have him on the floor. He's been probably, outside of Kendrick and a little bit of Alex Lomax too, he's right there with Alex Lomax when we're talking about as a facilitator on the offensive end. He has been a guy. He's been a guy that has spread the ball around. So that's been massive for him. Real quick before we get into top and not top story today, what did you think of that game last night? Baker Mayfield, 98-yard drive to end it. He finished 22 for 35, 230, and a TD on one day of practice.
His best NFL moment?
Better than the play. They won a playoff game, so no, I'll disagree with that. But this was an interesting one. NFL was putting out Baker.
I was asking a question. I wasn't making a statement.
Right. But I'd say winning a playoff game for Cleveland that they hadn't done in a long time. But I see all the reaction out there.
Baker Mania.
Yeah, what is that? What's the deal with that?
You can't have Baker Mania unless he's wearing number 6.
I'll say this: he's not saved. He's not saved. In the end of the day, he's good for him.
He answered an altar call last night.
I'm glad he was able to go do that. The fact that the Raiders were in press man coverage with 20 seconds to go is the most ridiculous thing. They just know how to lose games.
And except for his moment, that win means nothing to the Rams this year, but it was a killer to the Raiders.
Here's the stat, and then we'll get to top and not top. Raiders this year, they're 0-4 when leading by double digits at halftime.
2-4 in games they've led by 13 or more.
0-4 when leading by double digits at halftime. They are the first team since at least 1930 to lose 4 times in a season when leading by double digits at the half. That just tells you who they are as a team.
Every vulnerability as a franchise they're asking today.
That game, though, too, also was just very unserious. Felt preseason, like the hype around it, and there wasn't many fans there in SoFi. No one was real excited.
Did Amazon capture it well?
It was terrible.
Was it?
I'm not hating on them. They're fine. I'm not hating on the Amazon broadcast, but it was a boring game. It was because the offense was just started after that first drive by the Raiders. Just there was no offense, and then it was just back and forth, no cheering, quiet. Sort of lulled you to sleep until the last 20 seconds. 98 yards later, shout out Baker Mayfield.
This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone out there, from the great people at Lexus of Memphis to you great people at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. Call them for any service inquiry at 901-334-9673. Great offers on the very few remaining 2022 models, and always the 2023s starting to take over, and the special leasing options. They've got them at Lexus of Memphis. Driving luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2023 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Now, before we get into the top story of the day, I do have to give a shout-out to one of our great loyal listeners turning 59 today. Shout out our man, John Boatman. Loyal listener.
59.
Turned 59.
It's a big number.
I know he's had some health issues the past couple years.
Al Guyberger, 59. Way to go, John.
Another year under the belt. Now, top story of the day. Tigers going into the weekend against Auburn. They're 7-2. Auburn completely undefeated. Kendrick Davis has to show up. Kendrick Davis, we know about the situation that has unfolded with him the past few games. Obviously, the headbutt last game when he got very frustrated against Little Rock. But he's 7-33, 7 for 33 in his last 2 games. He's going to have to show up big. Also, DeAndre Williams has to stay out of foul trouble. But this is a massive resume builder that the Tigers can't afford to mess around with. They have to go in there and they have to at least put up a fight and potentially give themselves a chance to win. I think against Auburn, they have the chance to do that. We look at those two guards that Auburn gets the majority of their scoring from, K.D. Johnson and Wendell Green Jr., they miss shots. And the Tigers, their perimeter defense has been good so far this year. I think they can bother them. Big-time coach, too, on that Auburn sideline. My top story right there, Tigers versus Tigers in downtown Atlanta at the home of the Hawks tomorrow afternoon at Phillips Arena. This is a seed line R2 game for Penny's Tigers, and it's against Bruce Pearl. That even makes it better. Tomorrow, DeAndre Williams must be as advertised and good. Kendrick Davis needs to be great tomorrow, as advertised and good. DeAndre Williams needs to be in there for about 28 to 30 minutes. Nothing goofy. If you have a foul, make it count. Nothing crazy. A good shot at Auburn tomorrow afternoon. They're undefeated. One of 3 remaining SEC undefeateds. Tomorrow, those other undefeateds play as well. Missouri against KU in Columbia. Y'all play nice and act nice with each other. And Mississippi State on Sunday in Minneapolis against the Gophers. So the Memphis Tigers can knock the Auburn Tigers out of the ranks of the undefeated.
Not top story of the day.
First of all, I have another not top story of the day that has to do with a former teammate of mine, but part of this not top story has to do with Larry Brown. Larry Brown, today it's been announced that he's stepping away as a special advisor to Penny's staff. Obviously, we know about the health concerns that kept him from being a sideline coach as he was last year, but this is the reason he's officially stepping down. There's health concerns that have been reported as not life-threatening at this moment, so obviously prayers out for Larry Brown. Good basketball life. Hope it all works out for him.
The basketball life.
Now, my not top story of the day has to do with the Jaguars. Jaguars go and pick up Darrell Henderson Jr., who was waived by the Rams a couple of weeks ago. Obviously a former teammate of mine, third-round pick. Certainly had a lot of bright moments ahead of him if he would have potentially stayed in a Rams uniform, if that O-line would have gotten better, the whole 9 yards, but they decided to move on from him. The Jags pick him up, and they waive him again today. So I hope he lands on his feet, but that's bad. I mean, 2 times in 3 weeks being waived, that's rough. But I still think he's a guy, if you need help in that backfield, he can certainly be there.
Off-season is going to be big for him. Get in shape, maybe the best shape of his life. If there's any injury, get over it, and hope somebody will pick him up. My not top story, Grizzlies downtown tonight versus the team from Motown. Pistons with Jalen Duren. Good rookie season so far. Grizzlies big favorites tonight, 10+ over 10.5 over Detroit. Pelicans hosting the Suns tonight in New Orleans. First place right there for the Grizzlies in the next few games. Maybe they can overtake the 2 in front of them to get to first place.
The other not top story could very, very well be that game we saw last night, guys. That was so bad. That was why when I talk, like, because usually we talk about NFL games and how much ratings they'll get. That was some bad product. I really believe that. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Also, Raider Corey chimes in. Raider Corey, I'm so sad. He says, fellas, I'm so glad I dreamt my Raiders lost to a quarterback who had to cram for the test when he just got the study guide the same day of the exam.
Learn the playbook on the airplane.
Damn, that's tough stuff.
Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel. Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with promo code SPORTS56. Make the Cowboys that no-sweat first bet on Sunday afternoon. FanDuel with all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props, live betting, and when you win, you get your winnings paid fast. All on an app that's secure, safe, and super easy to use. So sign up right now with promo code SPORTS56 for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code SPORTS56. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
On that fantastic note, as we get to every Friday, we have Alan Bell on the other side. We'll get some picks for you then.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Barton's has been your hometown building supply store since 1885, offering local delivery. Now Barton's offers in-stock utility trailers, A great option for contractors and frequent DIYers on tight schedules. Available in single and tandem axle options, these 6-foot, 4-inch by 12-foot, 16-foot, and 18-foot trailers are made in Northeast Arkansas and include 15-inch tires and wood floor construction. Visit your West Memphis Bartons at 215 West Broadway to check out these quality in-stock trailer options.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. Depending on how long you've been around, you've likely known my name for 30 years. Perhaps for my 20 years as the morning show on Kix 106 as the Young and Elder Show, or my 15 years at Brian Elder Roofing. So obviously, my reputation means everything to me. One terrible customer experience could tarnish a third of a century of goodwill. My reputation for quality and strong relationships is our main focus. We're the highest certification, a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning. If you have a business or a commercial building, we're the highest certification for warranties with GAF and Mulehide products. We don't come at you in sales mode. If you got a problem, sometimes the solution is just to fix the problem. Call me right now. I'll come out and see you today. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2000, 2008, 2022. When it comes to the economy, those are some scary years. .com crash, housing crash, and the roller coaster we're going through right now. It's a dangerous time to not know your numbers. But over 31,000 businesses have the confidence and clarity they need because they rely on NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, improve margins. Everything you need all in one place. So, how do you prepare for uncertain times? The answer, NetSuite. NetSuite helps you identify rising costs, automate your business processes, and easily see where to save money. That's why 93% of customers say they improved their visibility and control when they upgraded to NetSuite. What are you waiting for? NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind flexible financing program. Head to netsuite.com/play. netsuite.com/play.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend. That's Sheldon at 483-0546 at MemphisRelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Done gets it done.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Let me tell you what Melvin Toast is packing right here, all right?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Get it? Alan Bell is our guy from CBS Sports Digital, from CBS Sportsline. He joins us via the phone line now. He's on Twitter at AlanBell247. Alan, what is the word, man? How are you?
Man, doing fantastic, buddy. Y'all doing all right?
Doing fantastic. Will you remember where you were for the Baker Mayfield, the second coming of Baker Mayfield, if you will?
Always. Like, this will go to – I mean, it was crazy last night, right? Like, what a wild game. And then on the other side, like, if I'm the Raiders owner, okay, I'm looking at Josh McDaniels saying, you lost to Jeff Saturday in his first game. You just lost to a quarterback who doesn't even know his teammates. Like, what am I paying you for? What do you do around here?
And you don't own a mirror working that kind of haircut if you're Mark Davis.
I know. And, dude, what is it with, like, the quote-unquote, like, the offensive geniuses? Like, they all go with the visor. Have you ever noticed that? Like,
you know what,
they're
though?
always visor guys.
It's Steve Spurrier. They're all paying tribute.
You know what's bothersome, though, Alan? Josh McDaniels, to me, has never been an offensive genius. Even that stuff he ran with the Patriots
but
was
he coached Tom
vanilla.
Brady.
And he also – I'm old enough to remember when he was with the St. Louis Rams on that first staff that Jeff Fisher put together. You remember those offenses?
Yep.
He was terrible. He was terrible.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like,
how do
we
I
could
not
go
remember
for
it with
an
the
hour.
Rams?
I agree.
Because it was that bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
I it's unbelievable to me. Also, when you look at Baker as a whole, what do you think ultimately is going to happen with him this offseason?
Is this the rebirth?
Yeah, well, we'll be careful on that one, right? Like, the difficult part is that, you know, there's a serious game and there's a serious flaw in his game, and what that is if he doesn't have a run game like going, and I'm not talking about last night. I'm just talking about as a whole. If he doesn't have a run game and if he can't use the play action, like, he's dead. Like, he's dead, and teams have figured it out early on him, and that's the difficult part. Now, in the NFL, like, if you're comparable, like, you can be a backup quarterback in the league and stick around for a long time.
Yep.
You're competent and can do that. But, I mean, time's running out. And, you know, the young quarterbacks come in every single year. I think that we're kind of seeing Baker become number 2 Baker. Instead of number 1.
So Brett has sworn off the Amazon broadcast this year. I watched it last
sworn
night.
off. I'm never paying for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pseudo sworn off.
No, if they gave it to me, I'd watch.
Yeah. But I watched that last night. Was that, I mean, nothing has nothing to do with the Amazon broadcast, because I think those two guys, when we talk about Herbie and Al Michaels, they're still professionals. But that was one of the more boring games in primetime this year I've seen in the NFL. That was probably one of the games I'll look back and say that was bad product. That was not as good a product as we're used to from the NFL.
No, agreed. And, like, you know, first off, Thursday games as a whole have been awful. Awful. And I think it has more to do with Thursday, right? Like, there's something there.
But Alan, that one took the cake. There was just no energy the entire game.
No, none. And you know what? You're exactly right. And, like, going back to the broadcast crew, like, and I'm with you. Like, who the hell would I be to you know, comment negatively about Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit? But that's why you have a broadcast team, is that you've got to bring a little bit of energy, at least to the viewers, right? And you've got to make something exciting. That's why they pay you millions of dollars to do that. And it's just, dude, it was listless. Yep. Like, there was just nothing there. I 100% agree.
Tell those last 20 seconds, though. Shout out those last 20
seconds.
Hey,
we've had we've had 2 Thursday games in a row now where they've ended exactly the same. Like, the Bucs coming back and winning 17-16, Baker coming back winning 17-16. Like, it's been the exact game twice in a row. It's crazy.
On Sunday, Titans at home, 3.5-point favorites, but a busy week for them. It was basically he goes or I go, and Mike Vrabel stayed. All the front office intrigue. The Titans waited forever to get a franchise wide receiver. They get one in A.J. Brown. They deal him. They get beat by him. It was more than they could bear.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? I mean, we all said it. We said it on this show the minute that trade happened, the day after. That was the dumbest move that you could have done. Like, A.J. Brown was more than one position. Like, take the catches alone, and then he forces defenses to play back. He helps alleviate poor offensive line play, because you can't just stack the box. And what are they doing now? They're just stacking the box. It's the same. The Titans' offense has become the same thing as when Marcus Mariota was there. They know you can't throw, so they're just gonna stop Derrick Henry, and good luck, right? I thought it was the right move. John Robinson did great things. I'm not gonna say he didn't, but man, like, it just got bad. And I'll say this, in terms of betting the Titans, this is my favorite bet of maybe the entire month. is the Titans -3.5 at home against the Jaguars. Because if you liked betting Mike Vrabel on underdog rolls, and those have been profitable, Mike Vrabel, I just got everyone's attention game. Like, yeah, I guarantee at the facility all week, like the people who are making food were on game. The people who were cleaning up out front were on point. Like, dude, Mike Vrabel just got everyone's attention. Yeah, he said, look, I'm the king of this franchise, and everyone's going to do it my way. And then you got Trevor Lawrence, who's banged up. Yeah, roll the Titans here.
What's the feeling with that fan base, though, over John Robinson? Sort of bittersweet? I mean, like, I know it ran its course. I get that, but there were some good things done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Anybody who says there wasn't is an idiot. Like, John Robinson did a lot of good things. This franchise was in the toilet for a long time, right? He did a lot of good things. And it is bittersweet because he's a Tennessee guy, right? And he cared. Like, he absolutely cared about the franchise. You know what I mean? The difficult part for him is that he actually raised the standard so high and then couldn't meet his own standard.
Yep.
Right? Like, that's essentially what happened. And I hate it for him. He's a super great dude. But yeah, man, it's the NFL. Welcome to it.
And had a big say in the Patriots' or success in the 2000s. I mean, he was a personnel guy there. Wonder if he lands on his feet somewhere. I don't know where that would be, but I think there's potential for that.
I would look right at New England.
Yep.
I would absolutely look right at New England. Bill Belichick generally brings people back that he likes, and he really likes down up.
Now, AFC North matchup here, the Bengals at home, 5.5-point favorites over the Browns. Deshaun Watson led Browns now after the win last week. He did not look good by any stretch of the imagination. They're definitely shaking off some rust still, but the Bengals are peaking at the right time. How do you see this?
Yeah, and the interesting part is Joe Burrow's never beaten the Browns, right? And the guy's 3-0 against Mahomes. Like, the NFL is so weird at times, man. Look, it's hard to fade Cincinnati here, but I'll tell you this, man, like, something with Cleveland. I'll roll Cleveland plus 5.5. Like, it's more than a trend. It's more than like just something, that, this like seems cute. Like, it's a real thing. There's something there. And look, NFL teams have it all the time. College football teams have it all the time. Is that you just don't have great matchups for whatever reason. I think the Bengals win the game, and you're right. They are peaking at the right time. But you know what? I'll roll with it. Give me the Browns plus 5. I'll take that bet, and if I lose it, I lose it. But you know what? I'll take it.
You were rolling with the trends. I mean, there's
nothing
wrong with that.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about my Lions, just overall so far? I had a segment earlier in the week where I brought up my Lions winning 4 of their last 5. Dan Campbell has that team playing at a high level. They're 5-7 now. They played close. Their only loss in that 5-game stretch was against the Bills on Thanksgiving, and we know how close that game was. They were very, very close to winning that.
Favorite at home, and the first thing Gabe asked me at lunch days, how Detroit's favorite at home?
Favorite at home, though. -2 against the 10-2 Vikings. I mean, that is like just on paper, that's a wild line.
Wild line. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm taking the over 51 in this game because look, you're right, dude. Detroit is playing out of its mind, and they're putting up points. They believe in Dan Campbell, and I'm with it. Like, I like Dan Campbell. You know what? Like, there's something to be said for when you just have a football team that believes and plays together. Like, that's not easy to get, and he's got it, and he's had it ever since he's been there. I haven't, seen a bunch of wins, over the previous year, but you're starting to see it now. I'll say this: Minnesota's also playing excellent football. Like, this is not a smoke and mirrors 10-2. I'm not saying that I believe fully in Kirk Cousins by any means, but they're a good football team. I think the best play is to take the over. Both of them are going to put up points.
Alan, everybody that mentions Kirk Cousins rightly kind of has the proviso, the out clause of I don't believe in him, I don't trust him. When will we? What does he have to do for us to say, yeah, Kirk Cousins, winner?
It's a great question. I don't know if there's anything. He can roll off 3 Super Bowls if he's like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm betting on him. I'll say this.
You know who they compare him to if he just won one. Oh, he's the new version of Joe Flacco.
Yeah, dude, 100%. 100%. Look, I'll say this. The reason why I believe in the Minnesota Vikings is that look at the fourth quarters and look at their offense, right? This isn't a Vikings team that falls apart at the end. They're actually a team that gets much better as the game goes along. The problem is, they have these lulls in the middle of games, where teams come back on them, right? But this team fights They put up a ton of points in late in games. Yeah, like I'm not saying that I'm putting up a poster of Kirk Cousins in my room, but this team's for real. Like, I mean, they're a good football team. So yeah, like I'm not discounting them one bit.
Give us your favorite game on the entire NFL Sunday lineup.
Yeah, two of them. All right, so I know you just asked for one, but two of them I equally feel phenomenal about beyond the Sunday Night Football, Dolphins Chargers over 52, might be 52.5 at your book. Look, I love both of these because Miami's defense is going to be a little banged up from having playing San Francisco. That's just how the trends have gone. You generally give up points in the next week, plus they have to go to the West Coast. But they're still going to put up points offensively, as will the Chargers. The Chargers defense, they almost got nothing. So I like the over in that one. Monday Night Football, Patriots Cardinals under. I think that Bill Belichick is going to make this game horrendous, just a muddy rock fight of a game with both teams running the football. I don't think it's going to be pretty by any means, which is exactly what Bill Belichick wants. Not saying they win the game, but I'll take the under in that one.
Under 43.5. Got there last week with the under 40, and it goes to overtime. I texted you that everybody was sweating gravy on that one, Alan Bell. You got there with it on the under 40. It's 2020 going to overtime and still got there. Where would you have voted Hendon Hooker for the Heisman?
Man, that's a great question, right? I would have had him in the top four. I'm not saying that he should win or any of that, but I think his numbers are incredible.
Offensive Player of the Year in the SEC we're talking about.
Yeah, there's nothing that I'm going to take away from him.
Paul Feinbaum, in violation of the Heisman Trust, that you give your word to not disclose your vote. He's already disclosed his. I'm not going to, but I will on Monday.
That sounds about right. Yeah, like you know what? I'll say, like, that loss to South Carolina hurt that team in so many ways, and it's really difficult to have an argument after you get blown out essentially twice because it was almost tied at halftime and you got blown out again. But I'd have had him in the top four. I would have put him in there. But five, I get it. Like, I get it.
And we're talking about Stetson Bennett being the fourth of four, likely. I mean, that just bothers me a little bit, just because I know how many guys realistically you could probably drag and drop in that offense and probably get better results. Now, I know he's really good in big games, but also, like, stats-wise, not there. And I know it's not a full stats award, or else we'd give it to the top passer in the country, Michael Penix, although I do think Michael Penix probably could have been a better inclusion than Stetson, but that's the bothersome part about it.
We can't get 6 chairs for the ceremony?
I think at least 5. I don't know why they don't just round up to 5.
Are chairs that hard to get in New York City?
Apparently so.
I don't get why they don't just round up to 5. Now, last thing for you, Army-Navy game. First of all, I'll ask you about, do you have any allegiances in this one, and what do you think about the game in general?
No allegiances in this game whatsoever. That being said, look, there's been the trend that we all know of playing unders in service academy games.
Yes.
That said, it's 32. It is 32. All right, I'm going to play the over just out of spite because, my goodness, like,
it's 32.
These teams are, like, they're not horrible. They're not great by any means, but, like, dude, 32. I'll play the over.
Yeah. Are you going to play the over in the Music City Bowl, though?
No.
Tell me about that.
I actually think
Kentucky, Iowa, a battle of the ages.
I don't think, look, let me say this. I think that there are actually going to be fewer people that show up than what the final score is going to be, and I'm rolling the under in that one. Like, this might be the worst matchup of all time.
You might be correct on that, but Alan,
and they played last year. Like, who wants to see that?
Every year. It's I don't get it. But Alan, always appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us,
dude. I appreciate you guys, man. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too, Alan. Have a great weekend. Alan Bell from CBS talking odds with us year-round every Friday at 3:30, and we love doing that. Time for our Gould Salon and Spa style segment. Gould Salon and Spa, they've been turning heads since 1932, and the perfect holiday gift, perfect size, perfect color, perfect for any age, is that Gould's gift card. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com right now and order whatever you want, however much you want for your employees, for your families, for your friends. Get a gift card for them that says how much you care about them during this holiday season, exclusive to our area. The best holiday gift for any season is that Gould's gift card. the best spa packages, salon products, and those gift cards. They're the big hit around the holiday season. Mr. Sam Gould, he had a dream to provide his clientele with a truly professional and unique fashion experience, and it's been realized entering the 91st year of Gould Salon and Spa. Sons, grandsons, granddaughters, valuable associates, from a small hair salon to today's juggernaut, upscale ambiance, chic style that once was considered a Hollywood luxury. We have it here with so many locations from downtown to Collierville and all points in between. And that Gould's gift card is the perfect gift for any time of the year, but especially now. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com right now and order that gift card for anybody that really matters to you in your life. Exclusive to our area, go to GouldSalonSpa.com. One of the many great things about Gould's as a corporate partner in Memphis and a great advertiser with us through all of the years that we appreciate is how very civic-minded they are. They got great Grizzly season tickets, and they have since day one. And I talked about it yesterday. The entire Grizzlies culture, from everything, from the parking lot attendants to the owner to the star players, media, front office, marketing, they are in the sweet spot of all time. We are so lucky to have the Grizzlies in town tonight against the Pistons. Should be a big Friday night crowd. It's the level that the Grizzlies have attained.
In my Gould style, who has shown more style in the past week than Coach Prime going to Colorado? Coach Prime, Deion Sanders off to Colorado to take on a new pretty big challenge. 1-11 this year under Carl Durrell before they fired him. He brought Jackson State back to relevance. 11-0 this year, playing for the Celebration Bowl.
I got asked this yesterday on Jocks. Give me a first-year win total that means it was a good year for Coach Prime at CU.
It means it was a good year at CU? 4.
I said 4.
Yeah.
I said 4 and 8 would be fantastic.
4 and 8's great for them. And that fan base is fired up, but who has been more stylish? I saw him at the game last night in the Coors Event Center for Colorado. He was there with Shador. I mean, he's doing the rounds right now, and he's doing them well. Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, Grizzlies versus Pistons tonight at 7 p.m. We'll get you prepped. We'll talk about the injury report, and when is Desmond Bain going to return on Sportstime.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Looking for a bar with it all? Pimento's Burgers Bar and Grill. Pimento's makes football your fantasy with 17 TVs and $2 draft beers during the game, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you know I love a great happy hour. At Pimento's, $4 house cocktails, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Yes, $4 house cocktails. Try one of their signature drinks like the JJ Spicy Margarita or the Tennessee Sunset. How about a Memphis Mudslide? Or be a kid again with the Adventure River Rum Punch. Hungry? Try a fan favorite, Bacon Pimento Cheeseburger. Or be like me and try them all. The Mushroom Extravaganza, Sweet Heat, and the Dirty, Mean, and Nasty. Need I say more? Well, yes, because there's so much more than just pimento cheese. Sliders, salads, quesadillas, 10 different appetizers. Just don't forget about dessert. 2 great locations, 6450 Poplar Avenue in East Memphis, and in Collierville, 3751 South Houston Levee Road. A bar with it all, Pimento's Burgers Bar and Grill. So much more than pimento cheese.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Looking for a cigar lounge to call your own? One that offers a laid-back environment with a full bar, comfortable seats to kick back in and enjoy a beer or a cocktail, and a cigar? Then G-Spot, Memphis' premier cigar lounge, is just for you. Offered a wide selection of cigars, and it's open 7 days a week, starting at 12 noon for your smoking pleasure. G-Spot Cigar Lounge is now offering a limited number of memberships that provide a locker and a humidor credit. For more information, call the G-Spot Cigar Lounge, 901-801-4276.
listeners, this is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Ho, ho, ho. I just left those Ford and Toyota dealers. You ought to see their selection of new cars and trucks. And you should see their prices. Santa trades a Sunrise Buick GMC truck. Top trade-in for old sleds, immediate financing, a true bargain lot for cars and trucks under $99.95. And remember, Sunrise specializes in first-time buyers. Want to buy a car or truck and have some left over for the holidays? SunriseMemphis.com, Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville. Happy holidays. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
What we are dealing with here is a perfect machine. It's really a miracle of evolution.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
I don't want to die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story was different with me.
Grizzlies back rolling in the friendly confines of FedEx Forum tonight, 7 p.m. versus the Pistons, 16-9. Nice potential win tonight. The Pistons, I think, have some really good young talent. Jaden Ivey, of course, leading the charge there with Cade Cunningham. But Jalen Duren gets his return to Memphis tonight. Yeah, he's hurt. But I'm saying the return to Memphis tonight, too.
I would love to see Jaden Ivey clocked in a 40-yard dash. He's got to be the fastest player in the league.
What about Ja?
No. Jalen Green.
Jalen Green's up there, too. It's a good one. Ja's up.
Also, I'd like to see this. Get out on the football field and see how far Jokic can throw a football, yardage-wise.
Jokic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chuck it.
His hand probably makes it look tiny.
I mean, he makes the 94-foot pass look like he's throwing a softball.
Now, Grizzlies 4 wins in a row, and they still have a stretch of 3 more games at home before they go on a road trip of 4. The last 3 games after the Pistons, it'll be the Pistons, the Hawks, and the Bucks. Hawks and Bucks certainly a little bit more interesting, but I think you need to feast and try to do what you can against the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference has shown some chops early in the season.
They have, but this team hadn't, and it's super young. Grizzlies should win big tonight in a big Friday night crowd.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Obviously, the Pistons aren't going to bring everybody out, but it's Grizzlies right now, 3rd in the Western Conference, and we know what this team can get done. Now that road trip, it starts to become tough. The schedule starts to hit you in the face after you get through basically that Thunder game. So you start on that next Saturday against the Thunder. And then it goes at Nuggets, at Suns, at Warriors. Then you come back home versus the Suns. Then you're at the Raptors 2 days later versus the Pelicans to end the year on New Year's Eve. That is a tough stretch of schedule that they're going to have to – I mean, without Desmond Bane, it's going to be a struggle.
And we'll dissect it more next week as we get closer. But just in that foursome, at OKC, at Denver, at Phoenix, at Golden State.
I say you hope you get out 2-2. You hope.
I think 2-2's all world.
I think you hope and pray that you can get out 2-2. Now, Nuggets, Suns, Warriors,
if you get out 3-1, you're in first place.
Nuggets, Suns, Warriors, all nationally televised games. Of course, Nuggets, TNT, Suns, ESPN, and then the Warriors will
finally on Christmas.
On Christmas, ABC, ESPN.
We still wait for home on Christmas, though. Maybe next year.
But we've had this discussion, too.
We're getting closer. Got to start somewhere.
We've had this discussion about the rest of the Western Conference, and I know that Nuggets and Suns are the 2 teams ahead of the Grizzlies right this second, but the rest of the Western Conference hasn't done anything to wow me And even the Suns at the top of it have.
Or Denver. I mean, you're not scared of either one of those.
Nothing has been there. You're still. Who's the most? When I talk about the scariest teams in the West,
Memphis.
I think the Grizzlies are up there, but I still talk about teams that are basically below the play-in line.
And most
the Clippers and the Warriors are still, to me, and I know they haven't played like it, but they're still the scariest teams.
That's okay. But you're mostly scared of reputation,
right?
Of what they've done, what we know they can do, or what they've done. Are we really that scared of what they can do? Are you that scared of the Clippers? Don't we know they always fold?
If they're healthy. I mean, you have to be at least somewhat worried about what they can put together.
Last dance for Golden State. Can they muster it up one more time to win it all?
History tells us they figure something out. But they haven't done it this year. 13-13, and they're not winning games at a high level. They haven't put together a stretch of basketball.
History ends, doesn't it?
At some point. But they haven't put together a stretch of basketball that gives you any hope that they're just going to go on this win streak. Although in the back of your head, you still tell yourself they're going to figure this out.
Y'all were little guys. Were y'all scared that all the world was ending on Y2K?
No.
I wasn't alive, so I couldn't be scared.
Well, no
Are you a 01 baby?
No kid.
2000.
Right.
March
St.
2000,
Patrick's Day.
yeah.
I was 4 years old.
So you were not conscious of it?
No.
2012.
You were.
Very.
You're terrified.
Didn't sweat it at all. If it did, it did.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I can't do anything about it.
That's right. It's a good way to look at it.
Where were you?
I was here, right here.
Did you go to New Year's Eve party that night?
I don't go to any New Year's Eve parties unless I'm off with Ole Miss at a bowl game.
Well,
and I wasn't with them then, and I wasn't out that night.
Yeah, Y2K. I hear
but
great
no,
stories.
I didn't think the world was coming to an end. No.
Yeah, it's probably smart. That's it.
Bryant was not even here.
Not even here. No,
you're on the right side of history,
man.
I was on the wrong.
No, you weren't wrong.
Well, if we had to pick sides here, if you're on the best side, then I have to be on the wrong side.
Not
or the right
always. Doesn't
side.
have to be a
I have
0-0.
be
You didn't live the history, so you were.
So I'm on the other side of it.
You were just anti. You weren't there.
I don't know.
You were 3 months before arriving.
That's right.
Wow.
If the world did end, he wouldn't have made it.
Wouldn't have made it.
But he made it. You're here, Bryant.
Thanks, Y2K.
Glad to have you.
Thanks.
By the way,
Real glad.
Glad to have you. Let's go ahead and get to hour number 2. We have plenty to get to there. Ty Richardson joins us at 4:30. Talk a little Razorbacks, SEC from ESPN Arkansas. We'll have to get to our Tigers bankroll as they play Auburn tomorrow on neutral court in Atlanta. But coming up next, we get you some more picks. We bring on our guy from the Gold Sheet, Bruce Marshall.
Locally owned and operated since 1885, Barton's has always been your hometown building supply store. And now Barton's is your go-to for replacement car remotes and key fobs. Introducing DuraKey. DuraKey replacements and renewal kits can be programmed in-store while you wait. Plus, save up to 60% compared to dealer prices. Visit your West Memphis Barton's at 215 West Broadway today for help with your car remote replacement and all of your home repair and remodel needs.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers Home.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. Como si fuera magia.
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family-friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
How do you want that cooked? Burnt to a crisp or bloody as hell?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Back rolling hour 2 on a Friday is here. Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe, he's Stats.
Mr. Great Geography student. I've had where Bruce is all messed up all day.
Yeah, Bruce in Lugano in Switzerland, I believe. I think that's where we're at. What's the greeting? Let's bring on Bruce right now from the Gold Sheet. Is it hello? Is it buongiorno? What do I say?
Buonasera.
Well, okay.
Good evening.
Okay.
Buongiorno is fine too, but this is the Italian part of Switzerland here.
Oh,
okay. So I did get it right. I said Italy.
Nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
So this is the only part. This little part is Italian, and then most of it, German, and then French. The western part, Geneva's French, Zurich is German. But it makes it interesting watching the World Cup on TV because they've got all 3 languages on.
Wow.
And many channels because they got Swiss has their own, in Italian, and you got the RAI coming in from Milan, and so I opted to watch the Italian coverage because I can sort of know what they're saying. I don't know what they're saying in German. It doesn't sound the same, so I opt for one I can get a little bit to understand at least.
Bruce, what is the predominant language?
German. In Switzerland, it's German. So, Italian is maybe, 5% of the country and about probably 60 German and about 35 French. But English is spoken almost everywhere. So if you're traveling to Europe, remember, obviously you can go to England or Scotland. Although Scotland, you need a translator because there are subtitles to understand what they're saying. You go to Amsterdam, you can go to Holland, you go up to Scandinavia, maybe Belgium and Switzerland, not have too much problem because enough people speak English to get around. Other places, France, some. Italy, less. Spain, even less than that. I have not been to Germany except through the airports there. So, but I think Germany's probably a little better with the English than the other languages, than the other countries. But at least in Spain and France and that. But English you can get by. Switzerland, you can speak English and get by fine.
Were the grandkids glad to see Pops? And did you tell them all about coming to Oxford?
I tried to tell them that. They were all excited to watch. Well, they're pretty little, so they're just going to watch whatever their folks watch. But yes, it's a long way from Oxford to here. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've never been to Europe. Do you enjoy your time in Europe? People friendly, everything else.
Well, yeah, because all the family here. I mean, my daughter and her kids, and then my wife's family's all in Spain, and she was there before she met me up here, so she was in Spain. So I go there a lot, and here I've been here 3 times this year already to Switzerland. But that's when you have grandkids who live around. That's what you got to do.
Do your grandchildren speak a couple different languages, or?
Well, the ones here are 3 and 1. The 3-year-old is a little bit Italian. I mean, she's already started school, and it's all Italian in school. Though at home she speaks English, but her father speaks Italian, so she's getting a little bit of it.
That's
but
cool.
Her school is all Italian. Yeah.
Bruce, that is so good. You are international, man, of not mystery, because what you see is what you get with Bruce Marshall, and we love it. And your dedication to us in this market all these years to join us at 11 o'clock where you are, we love it. All right, let's start with the Heisman Trophy. If you had a vote, how would you vote, Bruce Marshall, this year?
I will tell you, I've changed my mind. Caleb Williams is going to win. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure
he is.
I would vote for Stetson Bennett. Last week I might have said Max Duggan, but I think my gut feel is Bennett's going to finish second now. That's my thought. Kind of a late stretch runner here, and this thing changes by week. And I'm a pretty big Duggan booster too. But I think some people will start to look at Bennett in a little different light. Especially in the other good game last week and the way he's performed. I think he's going to probably finish second. I think that's the only mystery in this now. Will he finish second, or will Duggan? And Caleb's probably going to win. But we saw this race changed about 4 or 5 times, if not more, throughout
last
the
Saturday.
Season. It did. And Bennett. That's why I think Bennett probably moves ahead of Duggan right at the end, but probably not ahead of Caleb Williams.
He's a big game player. I'll say that. Stats don't necessarily match up, but is that sort of a "what have you done for me lately" type of vote from you, or do you like the sum of everything he's done this year?
And is it an indictment on his competition?
Well, that's all good questions, and I don't really have a formula for it. It's just sort of as I feel as it goes. Right. That's my own opinion. I think that's how a lot of the voters do it too. But I think you sort of, the career thing, it sort of moved away from it. There was a time, and you guys know this, where you almost always gave it to a senior and almost always had to be an offensive guy.
You kind of won it the year before.
Yeah, and Archie Griffin did. He won it 2 in a row. Mm-hmm. But it sort of gravitated now. If you have a big year, you can do it. Jameis Winston came out of nowhere and he won it. That was his first year. So it's sort of a year-by-year thing now. That's why I think would work against Bennett a little bit, because Williams really had a spectacular year. And I will say this about SC. He really, I think Georgia could have probably won without Bennett. I do not think USC could have won without Williams. And we'll see this if he is not 100% in the Cotton Bowl, they're getting beat by Tulane. I'll tell you right now, because they're not much different than last year with him not moving around. You saw that the second half of the Utah game. They were pretty helpless. He keeps plays alive. He extends plays. He's the reason SC was in the position it was this year. So I think most valuable player in college football, it was probably him.
I'm blown away though by the Stetson Bennett vote. Obviously I've spent almost all week talking about how I think it's very surprising and wild that he is a finalist, but he is there, so we'll see what happens. Now, of all these hires that we've seen in the coaching carousel so far, what one sort of stick out to you? Obviously the Dion to Colorado is massive on everybody's brain. Hugh to Auburn, massive on everyone's brain, but there's been a lot in between that we haven't gotten discussed because of those sort of big names.
Well, Dion's in its own sort of category, I think. So we can talk about that more in a second. And I'm more surprised Not that Colorado offered it to him, that he actually took that. I think we talked about that last week. But the one that really sort of blew me away this week was Satterfield to Cincinnati. That sort of came out of nowhere like that. And, I don't even know, what's going on at Louisville there, what happened. Or I know he was under some pressure there, but, he took the way out to Cincy there, and that opened up with Fickle even, of course. And this sort of reminds a bit when Tuberville took that job, before the fences closed in around him at the Texas Tech. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Satterfield was fired at Louisville. I don't think he was, but I know he was under pressure there. But that's the one that sort of surprised me, and it kind of came out of left field, like, whoa, where did that come from?
And his official statement said that he EXCEPT. He accepted the job.
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
EX.
There you go. Yeah.
And then Louisville did a good job
He's on
replacing
a college
him, though.
campus spelling accepting a job, EXCEPT.
I feel like Louisville did a good job with Jeff Brom, though. Obviously went there, sort of his dream job in the grand scheme. And I thought the job he's done at Purdue, I mean, you can't ignore it.
Yes, and he had a chance to go there before, and and he didn't. But this is the time he expected to do it, and I think he probably realized he got as far as he could go at Purdue this year, and he did get a Big Ten West, and the Big Ten's going to probably be changing this up now soon with SC and UCLA coming into the league. I think UCLA is still coming. So he just, I have been under the belief for a while that a good ACC job is probably the best place for a coach where you can still compete and maybe have a chance to win. But unless you're at Clemson, and by the way, Dabo's feeling some heat there right now, but the pressure's not quite as much there. A guy like Dave Clawson can coach forever at Wake Forest.
At NC State.
Yes, Dave Duren at NC State. And although he was under a little pressure a little bit ago, but if it's not quite as deep as the SEC, and you don't have to worry about Michigan or Ohio State. Michigan's just the last 2 years thing again, but you get out of the Big Ten, it's hard to compete if you're not one of those big boys. The ACC is wide open, and we've seen that in that Coastal Division, in which they're going to be doing away with upcoming. But different teams win it every year, so I think a good ACC job is there. And if Satterfield's more comfortable in Louisville, I can understand it for sure.
Next Friday,
Brom is more comfortable there.
Right.
I'll get that right. Brom, I understand that for sure.
Next Friday starts the bowl season. You want to give us a quick pick on the Bahamas Bowl, Miami and UAB?
No, not yet. I mean, be honest with you, I've looked at some of them. These early ones, we'll start writing them up this weekend.
Yeah,
but yeah, they do start Friday. The Bahamas starts the one next Friday. I'll tell you the one that jumped out at me, though.
6 games next Saturday.
Yeah, and a lot of games next Saturday. The Clemson-Tennessee game kind of jumps out at me, though, as one I'm going to be very interested in, mainly because of the quarterbacks going on there, and Klubnik finally gets in there, and we're going to see the beginning of Joe Milton. I'm pretty sure that's who Heupel's going to, unless he goes into the portal to get somebody else. I mean, Milton makes a claim on the job for next year if he does well. But back to Dabo. I have not heard Clemson people. I guess they were early in his tenure there. Brett and Gabe, there's some people upset first couple of years he was there. But he's hearing it from a lot of people right now by waiting so long with Klubnik, when it was pretty apparent that he was their better option than DJ. But he was very careful. The chemistry on the team. He was very careful with DJ and his feelings about it. But apparently, he was never giving Klubnik first team reps in practice, and this has really angered a lot of Clemson people. Even after he got in there with the first team and helped bail out the Syracuse game. I think a lot of Clemson people think, we could be if TCU's in the Final Four, we should have been there, and the reason we're not there, and the reason we didn't beat South Carolina is we didn't go to Klubnik soon enough. So Dabo's hearing it from the people there for the first time in a long time.
They better be careful, though. I mean, the history of success at Clemson starts and ends with Dabo Swinney, and you also look at their bad years. It was a 10-win year last year and an 11-win year this year, and they won the ACC. I mean, in the end of the day, I know they're expecting to play in the college football playoff, and I thoroughly am of the belief that if they switched to Cade Klubnik earlier, they'd be in the college football playoff. But that feels like a be careful what you wish for thing for Clemson fans.
I agree, and that's why I've said for a while, whenever that opens up, and Dabo's still not that old. I mean, he could be there another 15 years or so, or maybe longer. But if it ever did, that's going to be a harder job to fill than Alabama or Ohio State, I think, because, it was him sort of. And to get, even though, I mean, Danny Ford goes back a long time ago, but that happened really quick. He's going to be very hard to replace whenever he decides to go.
He could potentially be the successor to Nick Saban at Bama. I mean, that seems like something that's still somewhat on the table, right?
It's been there, and Brett and I talked about that a long time ago too. That at one point, it seemed like that would have been the natural choice for Bama. I don't know that Dabo would. I mean, he's really got a good deal as long as the IPTAY crowd isn't in his face. And Clemson, he can get any kid in. They don't have problems getting kids in there, and he's got all the resources and everything he could need. But if he ever he would be the first guy Alabama would call, I think, because he is an Alabama grad and alum. So that would be the first call. I don't think he'd want to take it, but who knows? I mean, things change. We'll see.
Old number 88, special teams player on their 92 national championship team, Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet, with us from way over there. Let's start in the NFL. First game listed Sunday, Jets, Bills in Orchard Park. Buffalo Bills minus 10.5 over the Jets.
I keep thinking that this Jets thing with Mike White, I remember last year too much, and maybe I shouldn't be thinking about that. He had that one big game last year. Then he against the Bengals, and he got hurt, knocked out the next game. Quarterback the next game against the Bills, by the way, threw 4 picks, and you didn't hear from him again. Now, though, he's got 2 300-plus yard games passing. They really could have won that game against the Vikings last week. They won big against the Bears. So, I mean, it looks like he's giving them a spark. But I still have a feeling the Jets are kind of running on fumes here. In one of these weeks, it's just going to unravel for White. He still doesn't have a lot of, experience there, and whip the ball all down the arc. They still have to play from behind this week, which they probably will. He could be in some trouble. Buffalo is trying to avenge a loss last month. That was sort of Zach Wilson's last hurrah for the Jets. I still don't know if Josh Allen is 100% with that arm. And Buffalo's had, they've had some struggles lately, but I would think they would avenge this one. Our score was 30-13 Bills. So I just don't know how much longer the Jets can hang in this with White. I mean, he has done well and for 2 starts, but the 2 starts don't make a full season. We'll see what happens this week.
So Brett will tell you I'm a big Lions believer now after 4 of the last 5, and obviously the one they lost was to the Bills on Thanksgiving. They were very close in that game, but even with that, they're at home this weekend, and I was blown away that they were favored by 2 against the Vikings, who are 10-2, who have played some decent ball, haven't blown anyone away, and that loss against the Cowboys still sticks in the craw. But were you surprised to see the Lions favored in this game?
A little bit, but I thought it would be close, like maybe Minnesota won or pick them. I mean, Detroit's, like you said, has played so well. The only game they lost in the last month plus, is that game to the Bills. Goff is putting up some very good numbers. Williams running the ball well. The receivers, Amon-Ra has come on very nice. The defense has played better. They have been a very good point spread team for Dan Campbell. Now they're going to have to win this game to cover the spread. But I think there's a lot of non-believers in Minnesota, just because the fact they won the Dallas game didn't help a couple weeks ago. But 2, I mean, they've had so many close games this year. I mean, their number of one-score wins is like almost all of them this year, so they're walking a tightrope. Every time I watch this team, I'm just not sure how they're hanging in there and doing it. But the Lions actually have a shot to slip into that last NFC wildcard thing, which is wide open. And they have a win over the Giants, which could help them out. And this would certainly help them out too. 31-27 Detroit. I'm with you, Gabe. I think they have a shot this week.
My eyes are getting big about the Detroit Lions, especially offensively going forward. I mean, they spend that pick on Jameson Williams this last offseason, and if he can get healthy, they have good backs, they have a good O-line, they have Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, they offensively could be one of the best teams, and they have really this year, but even next year, they could be one of the best offensive teams in football. What do you think about the over in that one particularly? Do you think that could be a high-scoring game?
I'd keep going. I'd go over with Detroit. They've been an over team here. I want to say 5 in a row now. They have been very good to the over. So I think that's another way to look in that one for sure.
Now, before we get your favorite picks, I want to touch on this Bengals-Browns game. Bengals, of course, 8-4 and peaking at the right time. What do you think about them sort of doing what they did last year in the AFC? Do you think that they are doing the right things and showing you what you need to see going into the playoffs?
I think so. I think right now they can beat any AFC. They've proved that. They beat the Chiefs. That's 3 in a row now over the Chiefs since last December or January. I think that first time they beat them last year was like January 2, and then they beat them in the playoffs and then last week. So, yes, I think they are. Now, the one thing, I mean, the bogey team for them has been the Browns. Remember that Halloween game? They just looked awful in that game. They couldn't do anything right, and Brissett played very well. And that's 5 straight Cleveland has beaten Cincinnati. This has to stick in the Bengals' craw. Deshaun did not do much last week. They were very fortunate. They played a team as inept as the Texans because the offense didn't do much. It was defense and special teams helped out, and Houston's inability to do anything. But I'm not sure this offense. I really, I don't know that they had to throw Deshaun in there right away. I mean,
Right.
I know there's some symbolism with that. I mean, they want to show, all the money they're paying him and all, but heck, Brissett wasn't doing it. Brissett won his last start. He beat Tampa Bay. I don't know that they really had to do that. This is my own gut feeling. I know because he's Deshaun, they had to do it. Right now, they are probably better offense with Brissett, and I think they made a mistake here, and I think it's going to pay this week. 34-20 Bengals. They get some revenge for that loss on Halloween.
Goal sheet says Bengals over the Browns. Bruce, you got a lot to do for us in a short amount of time. We want you to give us your favorite NFL pick, your Army-Navy pick, and give us a surprise college basketball pick, and tell us how we get more of you.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite NFL pick. I'm going to go with the Monday night, the Patriots. Even though they haven't played too well the last couple weeks, I still trust Belichick. I do not trust Arizona right now. I think Cliff Kingsbury could get booted.
Yep.
Their chemistry is all wrong there. They do not have a home edge. 1-11 their last 12 straight up at home. What's up with that? Patriots will have fans there. Patriots on Monday night will beat Arizona. Army-Navy. I think Navy gets them. By the way, you see Navy's favored in this game now.
Yep.
And
2.5.
the betting public has seen that, the records don't mean as much. Navy's schedule is a lot tougher playing in the American than what Army's got. And our line is just as good, if not better, than Lavitat quarterback. But the real play in that game is under 15 straight. I said that right. 15 straight unders in this series. Commander-in-Chief games last 18 years, 43-9-1 to the under. And my thing I mentioned last month, our Air Force and Army, number of plays in these games. Air Force Army, 115 plays. Air Force Navy back in October, 111 plays. Most of your SEC, ACC games, 155, 160 snaps per week. It's like they're playing one quarter less because of no incomplete passes and the options. It's a recipe for under, although they push this thing really low. 32.5 is like an NFL preseason number, but I'll stick with the trend there. And an under. College basketball tonight. How about this one? Tomorrow, Alabama-Houston's a great game tomorrow.
Sure
I think Alabama's got a shot. Houston's number 1, but their schedule is nothing near what these other teams in the top 5, top 10 have played. I think Bama might get them. Watch this Brandon Miller, the freshman, is something special. Tonight, here's one for you. Queens College in Charlotte moved up to the Atlantic Sun this year. They ain't bad. And High Point, coached by Tubby's son, Gigi, scoring 86 points per game this year. This is up and down the court tonight, and it's an over, like 151. Queens and High Point over tonight.
Queens College and High Point.
We learned about Queens College just a couple weeks ago, didn't we, Brett?
We did. I thought they were.
He thought they were in Queens,
and they're in Charlotte, North Carolina.
We figured it out. We figured it out. But High Point, I've actually gotten on a couple of High Point bets this year. They've been relatively good at covering the spread.
Over 154.5. Queens College and High Point, the Friday night special.
Now, Bruce, where do we find more of you?
Thanks. Check us out, Gabe, online, goldsheet.com. We got the basketball publication every day, which I can still do on the road here, so coming to you from Switzerland for the next week. And, of course, the football, and I'll be doing that from this weekend over here as well. That's up every Tuesday. Well, the first bowl game write-ups for you next week. Goldsheet.com, my picks there, also Vegas Insider and DonBest.com.
Great stuff as always, Bruce. You enjoy your weekend. I've been very impressed, though. The most impressive thing of this entire segment is that phone reception all the way across the pond. I'm blown away.
Bruce, tell your family happy holidays from us, okay?
Very good. Minnesota. There you go.
You got it. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it,
Bruce
Bruce
Marshall from the Gold Sheet with us, and what a terrific guy. Terrific holiday treat for everyone is the holiday bird from the commissary, the new Collierville commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. You have time to order it to make your holiday, make the food great, and make it easy on whoever has to prepare it. Call right now, 901-754-5540. Get on that list. If you're on the list for Thanksgiving, I know you're going to be on it again for the next round of holidays. If you missed out at Thanksgiving, no need to miss out for both big holidays. You can call 901-754-5540 and get that great turkey and the dressing, the gravy, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, green beans, rolls, butter, plates, utensils. They do it all for you at the commissary. The whole turkeys and hams, all the sides, the bulk pricing. You will love it from the commissary. And if you want to just order anything from the commissary, we got an easy way to do it. Text commissary to 33733 and start that barbecue feast with the great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the nachos invented. The barbecue nachos invented in the early 80s at the commissary. And those desserts like the lemon icebox pie, the banana pudding, the strawberry cake, get those. Get all this for around the holiday season. Get the holiday bird for the special day, December 25th, but get the great barbecue for any time of the year, or go there this weekend. Get outside on the patio where it will be nice enough to enjoy the Tiger game tomorrow afternoon. 901-754-5540, the new Collierville commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown for the party areas, for the catering, for the tailgating, for the holiday bird. Your place, the Germantown or Collierville commissary.
We might need Bruce Marshall's cell phone plan. That was impressive stuff. Not even so much as a crackle in Switzerland.
Who knew?
In Switzerland. I don't know about you, but if I'm out of the country, making a call ain't that easy.
It was great.
Let's go ahead and get to a break, though. When we come back, we switch gears, and we talk with Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas about the Razorbacks, about the SEC, college basketball, college football, the whole 9 yards. We'll be right back.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Willoshin here for Homer Skelton Hyundai. I love to brag about my friends. Right at the corner of Highway 78, Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, Craft Road. They always come up with some innovative program that makes you want to just go out and get your brand new car. And I'm talking Hyundais. Right now, you can get a new Santa Fe. You can get a new Tucson. You can get any brand new Hyundai. State-of-the-art technology. You can get that without paying for 3 months. You've heard me correctly. You can get a brand new Hyundai and not pay for 90 days. This just started. It's going all the way through January. You could say a Christmas present, a holiday present from Homer Skelton Hyundai. Again, make your deal and then don't worry for 90 days about paying the very first payment, and only at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions. Plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm with John Vergus from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, I want to talk about our seasoning and sauce today. Our sauce is a great blend of sweet, mustard, and vinegar. It's good on so many items other than barbecue. It's good on pizza. People use it in lieu of ketchup. But our seasoning is the original dry rub, created by my father using a mixture of Greek and Cajun spices. People think our sauce and seasoning are good just during the grilling season. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's good year-round. Our seasoning is good on fish, chicken, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, French fries. People even put a dash in a Bloody Mary. To get a complete list of all of our recipes using our products, go to hogsfly.com, click recipes, and you'll see 50 wonderful items and dishes. And Brett, our sauce and seasoning is available at most grocery stores, and if they don't have it, please remind your grocer to stock it. And our slaw is also available at most Kroger stores.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Vergos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing, and they've only been around for 5 years. Choose from hundreds of choices of wood, tile, vinyl, and carpet. Timmy, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood, tile, vinyl, and carpets. Jenkins meets all your needs from renovations to home building to installation. Enjoy buying excellent quality products at awesome prices. They're all about customer service at Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando. Call 662-469-9350.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
I think this is the best chicken I ever had.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Back in, back rolling. Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe. He is Stats. Super producer Bryant Dacus in producing the program, doing a fantastic job. And joining us via the phone line is our guy, co-host of the Morning Rush, 6 to 9 a.m. at Hit That Line Arkansas, ESPN Arkansas. He is Ty Richardson at Ty Sports Radio on the Twitter machine. Ty, what is the word, man? How are you?
Good afternoon, fellas. Just ready to watch Arkansas play Oklahoma and Tulsa tomorrow. And kind of sad we don't have a lot of college football this weekend outside Army-Navy.
I am too, Ty. I'm sad we're going to do our picks.
It feels like yesterday we were at SEC Media Days.
It feels like yesterday we were at SEC Media Days, breaking it all down. What was your best preseason prediction team record-wise, and which one did you stumble on? For me, I had Ole Miss 8-4. They went 8-4. I had Arkansas 7-5. They went 6-6. Close enough. My big miss, A&M. Yours?
Tennessee for sure. I thought Hendon Hooker was going to beat Alabama this year. I just felt that stretch for the Crimson Tide was going to be that would probably be. And then A&M would be the worst. I thought they finished second in the West.
How did we let A&M get us all? We know better than that, don't we, Ty?
I would think. I mean, y'all probably saw the news in 24/7 Sports. Looks like Jimbo's interviewing Bobby Petrino, which would just be wild if he was the offensive coordinator for the Aggies next year.
Ty, why can't he just go get somebody young? There's a lot of young and upcoming offensive coordinators that can coach that offense. They have the talent.
Petrino
now, obviously, they're losing a bunch on the transfer portal. I think they had 16 guys go in since the 5th, since Monday. But I mean, at some point, start to grow in the right direction and get younger guys surrounding these young.
We
these
run
young
a good chance of a Petrino Jimbo classic. I mean, epic blow up, and at the bottom of the pile, somebody gets an ear chewed off.
Well, Brett, that's one of the things I appreciate about you and doing a show with a guy that's a number of years younger than you, as is Tommy and Chuck. Like, I think like there has to be a cohesion of sorts, and I think that Gabe probably learns from you every day, as I learn from Tommy and Chuck. I think these young offensive guys, like geniuses, these gurus, and I know there's a lot of NFL guys like Shanahan, McVay, and LaFleur and stuff, but I mean, the NFL, they're going younger, and in some cases, college football head coaches are looking younger, but in Jimbo's case, I think he's so set in his ways, and man, you just hit the nail on the head, Brett. There's going to be a blow up of epic proportions between those two if it happens.
I'm still so sad about him. And obviously someone has to fall on the sword, but my guy Daryl Dickey having to fall on the sword for Jimbo running that offense into the ground. I mean, that's tough to watch for me because that's a really good guy. That's a really good coach that a lot of people like in this area. Now, what you like? I'm sure you like the draw of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. I'm sure you get a lot of people from Fayetteville headed this way.
Third time in the 21st century, and kind of in the same stretch of years. It was early in the Petrino years. It was early in the Bielema years, and now we're still early in the Sam Pittman years.
Yeah, Chuck actually got a chance to talk with Harold and forget it's
Harold
Greater,
Greater,
and he was great, and you could tell how jacked up he was to have Arkansas. And listen, I love the Liberty Bowl, man. It's a great. I mean, 2009 was awesome when we beat ECU. 2015, I guess it was technically in the 2016 year when they beat Kansas State. I love Beale Street. Last time I was there, I was with Gabe having a good time.
Yes, sir.
Memphis there's a good Arkansas alumni base. It's just a great city, man. I grew up playing soccer tournaments there. Memphis is a heck of a time, regardless if you're playing a sporting event. Might as well play the football game with the Razorbacks Incorporated.
And to end with a win and kind of kickstart next year, we were going over various games yesterday, and we think the Oregon Holiday Bowl definitely presents this. But there are teams that can start next year now. Why not for the Razorbacks, especially with KJ Jefferson announcing his return?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something they can build upon. And you think about the transfer portal being open from now till January the 18th, and they're trying to build momentum any way they can. I don't know if a bowl win against Kansas is going to be the difference between you signing the transfer portal guy or not. It's not going to hurt. I mean, people want to see you're going in the right direction, especially after that loss to Missouri. So might as well get this thing going. But I mean, Kansas wants this, man. They start their season really hot, and this is a game that they want more than Arkansas, and Arkansas is going to have to battle that all game long.
Super Bowl for Kansas.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Now, where on the freak out level with that fan base is all the transfer portal outgoing pieces? And I honestly haven't seen any that are just massive that you would look at and say, oh gosh, they really, really need that guy. But I think the number was at 11 last time I checked since Monday.
And it's up to 15 now, Gabe. So it's climbing. And some of those are a combination of, you've also got some NFL guys, Ricky Stromberg gone, Bruce Sanders gone, likely first-round draft pick. You've also got Jaden Hazelwood. So they're going to have to replenish and load. And we kind of expected this. We knew after this season they were going to have to do that. But, I mean, that's just the name of the game in college football. I was kind of surprised that Georgia didn't have that many opt-outs at this point. I thought they'd get hit hard, but I guess some of these kids think, man, I might get a shot to play in the college football playoff or national championship. So they're staying put for at least a couple more weeks. It's a different world, and we got to get used to it. Coaches have to adapt. It's adapt or die, and not by the morbid side of things, but if you don't figure this out, you're going to get left behind. And that's not just for a middle pack program like Arkansas. That's every program in the country, and I think a lot of these coaches are having to balance more on their plate than they ever have.
Ty, the preseason predictions around the Razorbacks, I said 7-5, and because I knew the roster, and I know it's not complete yet. It's not exactly what Sam Pittman wants. You know, I read statewide Arkansas Democrat Gazette, their columnist had 10-2. Yeah, I just thought that was impossible for the bar to be set that high. Where did most people have it, and what's the frustration level?
I almost fell over and croaked when I read Wally's piece that Arkansas was going to go 10-2 this past year. I wanted to believe every word. I just couldn't. I think the level wouldn't have been as bad if you hadn't lost Missouri. But they have yet to win in Columbia, ever. The only time they've beaten them in a busy place was in St. Louis years ago. So it's really irritating that you view yourself as a better program and let you continue to lose to the Tigers. And frankly, Missouri's just kicked your butt in this rivalry game that they're trying to make, and it's becoming more of that because you just keep losing. So I think that's the biggest thing. Liberty Bowl would help fans be kind of salvage it, but I don't think it would have been the same degree as if they would have played Oklahoma and beat them, as I mentioned last week on the program.
What is the what is the plan going forward with Barry Odom off to UNLV? Do they have guys in-house that could potentially step up and be in there? And what names do you think could be attached to that opening?
I know some of the popular fan names are Jim Leonard up at Wisconsin, who's going to be done after their bowl game. You've got Trey Scott, who's the defensive line coach at Georgia. He's originally from Crossett, Arkansas, played at Arkansas Tech. There's probably one or two more names that are popular amongst. I don't know what Sam's going to do, to be quite honest. This is a guy that has seemed to use the know, like, and trust model with his hires. Hires people he knows, likes, and trusts in some cases. But then in Kendall Brow's case, he didn't know Kendall from Adam outside of maybe just his name. And that seemed to be a hire that he was very strong about. So I think that he's probably going to go with someone he's familiar with, but we've also seen him make hires just based on who he thought was going to be a good football coach.
And this week in basketball, the injury, I was never going to put the pressure on Arkansas to win it all or even go to the Final Four, but that injury probably extinguishes that. Elite Eight again is probably the high water mark.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And I felt so bad for Trevin Brazile because he was a guy that played decent at Missouri last year and all of a sudden worked himself into a second-round mock draft position at the NBA level. He's a 6'9", 6'10" guy, explosive, can shoot the three, guard positions 3 through 5, and he was just electric on these dunks. And y'all know how ACL goes, 6 to 9 months, might be back next year. Maybe he just moves on and tries his career at the professional level. But I know it was a heavy heart for every Razorback basketball fan when they heard the news because, man, he captured that fan base real quick, really from the first game moving forward.
What are the early returns thoughts on Nick Smith Jr.? Obviously, I think he's played 2 games at this point and had a decent one against UNCG.
Yeah, he turned it on. Gabe scored 16 points in the second half. He's got a motor, man. I mean, I love watching Chris Douglas-Roberts. That's the Memphis guy that I always remember. That guy had a motor. I knew when he
Supreme
was
B.
the rim.
Great comparison.
Supreme Bay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he got after it. I love watching that guy play. Not that Derrick Rose didn't or Dorsey didn't, but I was like, when CDR was on the floor, those guys were going. And I didn't like Cal and some of the other teams, but I love that guy. Nick's just got one of those that it's uncanny. And when you have the talent and the basketball IQ to go along with it, in addition to being 6'4", 6'5", and long, man, that's a special, special player. And I think under Eric Musselman, and as they get more cohesive playing together these next few weeks, he's going to get that much better and prove why he's the number 1 college prospect in the country.
You mentioned right when we brought you on tomorrow, the Razorbacks against the Sooners in Tulsa at Bank of Oklahoma Arena. That's kind of the Eric Musselman scheduling model, the big tournaments, and then kind of neutral for the bigger type teams, but bring maybe the lesser teams to Bud Walton Arena. We keep wanting Memphis to be back as a part of that, but I don't want it in North Little Rock, and I don't want it in Nashville. I want it at FedEx Forum in Bud Walton Arena.
Sign me up, man. Say less, right? you talk to Penny and Eric and get this thing going. I mean, that's a not necessarily a rivalry, but we know the history between these two programs.
It was great.
We know the connections that Arkansas has in Memphis and that Memphis has in Arkansas. I mean, it's awesome. Arkansas could go to the Sweet 16 with just Memphis players, and Memphis could go to the Sweet 16 with just Arkansas players. That's how talent-rich both of these states are, really, in kind of the Little Rock and Memphis area when it comes to high school basketball. And, yeah, I'm all for it. What Muss has done is very intelligent. So, finals are next week, and then students aren't going to be on campus. If you don't have students on campus, the atmosphere is not as great as it needs to be. So they're in Little Rock next week, which will have 16,000, 17,000. And then after that, they won't play it, I think, the following Saturday, and then they go to LSU. So the scheduling philosophy that him and assistant coach Anthony Ruda put together, it's really smart, I think, on their part, based on when they'll know fans will show up, and it'll get ratcheted up once we get to January and we're all focusing on basketball.
Ty, it just hit me. You're so right about the linkage for both schools in the city of Memphis and the state of Arkansas. All-time leading scorer in Tiger basketball history, Keith Lee from West Memphis, Arkansas. All-time leading scorer in Razorback basketball history, Todd Day from Memphis.
Isn't that wild?
How about
I remember talking with and then like Michael Cage. I'm a Thunder guy. Michael Cage, I think, if I remember that right, is a West Memphis kid too.
You're older than Keith Lee.
Yeah, I mean, that's two guys back to back right there. West Memphis. One of my friends' dad, Brett, he went there and he was on the team, didn't play at all, but they had 5 guys go D1. I mean,
I saw him 4 times in that 60-game stretch. I saw him 4 times against Far City with Cage and Lee, and it was show time to go see it.
I mean, that's one of those teams, Brett. That's like that one Parkview team that have 5 guys, and I think Derek Fisher might have been the 6th man, if I remember that right. Maybe it was Hall. Maybe I'm mixing the two up, but I don't know what the deal is with West Memphis compared to what it used to be, but that used to be the premier high school basketball program in the state, maybe along with Central, and there might be another team I'm missing here and there.
Yeah, all in Parkview also in there, but it was something to see. Ty, have a great weekend. We appreciate your time. Great stuff.
Great stuff. Appreciate it, Ty.
You got it, fellas. See ya.
Thank you very much. Ty Richardson from ESPN Radio in Fort Smith, and Razorbacks in Memphis, and Memphis in the state of Arkansas with a lot of connection through the years. At All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, you can go down there and you can see all the great cars. But they've asked me, Kevin and Jeff asked me to wish each of you and your family a very Merry Christmas, whether you've bought from All-Star or not this year. They want everyone to feel at home at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, and you will. First exit into Mississippi on Highway 78, Kraft Goodman Road. If you want something new to drive for Christmas or the new year, maybe a Silverado or Tahoe or Traverse or Suburban, or just need to sell your car, call or come by and see Jeff or Kevin. They have everything you can imagine in certified and pre-owned vehicles. If you need service before heading out for holiday trips, call and ask for Jeff or Chance in the service department, or go to allstarautogroup.com. Remember, it's not the Pike, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Collierville, or Bartlett. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new fun, find new roads for the holidays at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a happy new year from everyone at All-Star Chevrolet.
Official line just dropped for Memphis and Auburn tomorrow.
We know what that means next.
Obviously in Atlanta.
Load up time.
And that number is Auburn favored by 2.5. So you know what that means. We get the Tiger Bankroll next.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Biscuits and Jams is the best new restaurant in the Mid-South. Their shrimp and crawfish Creole Benedict has been named one of the best one-of-a-kind breakfast dishes by the Commercial Appeal. Biscuits and Jam's secret is homemade food with local ingredients. You can't get any better for breakfast, brunch, and lunch. Biscuits and Jams, open 8 to 2 Tuesday through Friday and 9 to 3 Saturday and Sunday at 5806 Stage Road. For delicious, local, homemade food, Biscuits and Jams is simply the best.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. Depending on how long you've been around, you've likely known my name for 30 years. Perhaps for my 20 years as the morning show on Kix 106 as the Young and Elder Show, or my 15 years at Brian Elder Roofing. So obviously, my reputation means everything to me. One terrible customer experience could tarnish a third of a century of goodwill. My reputation for quality and strong relationships is our main focus. We're the highest certification, a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning. If you have a business or a commercial building, we're the highest certification for warranties with GAF and Mulehide products. We don't come at you in sales mode. If you got a problem, sometimes the solution is just to fix the problem. Call me right now. I'll come out and see you today. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Every year, first responders are injured or killed by vehicle strikes while responding to emergency calls. When you see police, fire, or ambulance, slow down, yield, and move over. Faster response times can help save a life, including your own. Move over, Memphis. It's the law.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios. Grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers. Everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Bon appetit.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, but now I got Rolling Stones in the bezel.
How about it? The line dropped not too long ago. Tigers versus Auburn tomorrow, 4 p.m. in ATL, State Farm Arena. Time for some Tigers bankroll. Now let's get an update on the standing.
Tote board. Bryant 1,400.
Okay.
5-4 on the year. Gabe 1050. 5-4 on the year. Brett 4-5, 900 on the year.
Why'd you have to say it so quiet? You're good.
Because it stinks.
You're fine.
You said you're 900?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm 1050.
900, 1050, 1,400.
So if we're talking about keys to the game for the Tigers, I think there's two very, very simple ones. One, you have to take advantage of making your shots inside the three-point line. You have to shoot a high percentage from in there. We know they're not a three-point shooting, but the biggest thing and the most important thing for the Tigers to stick in this game, keep Auburn off the offensive boards. They are ranked top 15 nationally in hitting the offensive boards. Joni Broom's been big. A lot of their bigs have been big in regards to that. They get some long rebounds. So if the Tigers give second chances, third chances, it could be a long day for them. Let's go ahead and make picks, though. I think Bryant should lead off.
I'm not going first. I'm not going first. I want to hear y'all's picks first. I want to hear y'all's
No,
picks
but he's
first.
leading.
I mean, I'll tell you who I want, but I want to hear how much you are betting before, because I've known who I'm going to bet
that's an advantage. That's
for weeks.
See,
Fine.
He's showing his
Auburn
hand.
300.
Oh. Okay. All right, Bryant.
Actually, make it 350.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have to scratch out. I hate
For
scratch
400 then,
out.
Gabe.
Really scratch out.
400.
400. See, if this goes through a strict audit, somebody could think I was trying to deceive you by all the scratch outs.
So
we're on the record.
400.
In fairness of Bryant going first with the highest amount of money, I'll go second. I'll just take $50 on the Tigers. Give me Tigers plus 2.5 for $50.
Which one?
Trying that, huh?
These Tigers. These
okay.
Tigers.
Trying that old trick, huh?
These Tigers. The Memphis Tigers. How about
Memphis
that?
plus 2.5. Your alma mater. Where you lettered.
Yes.
Proud Tiger.
You really want me to bring in my letter jacket one day? You want me to wear my letter jacket?
I want you to wear it
sort
soon.
of weather.
Telling you, letter jacket, the warmest thing I have in my closet. I have a lot of winter gear. Warmest thing I could possibly wear.
You'll be gone the day of the Tigers bowl game. Next Friday, kind of our last time we're all really going to be together here. You wear your letter jacket.
Okay, I got you.
I'd love it. So you take the Memphis Tigers plus 2.5, right?
Yes, $50.
300 Auburn minus 2.5.
Love it.
Bryant with the 400. Well, 300 turned to 350, then turned.
Well, it's
to
because you
400.
frustrated me.
Well, Bryant goes to 8. If
You made me go first, which made
Bryant
me want
wins,
to put a
I
big
win,
number.
but he goes to 1,800. I go to 1,200. I can't catch him.
So who's okay? Let's have this discussion. Auburn, y'all both have Auburn. Who has the big game for Auburn?
Broom. He's going to
Who shows
have
up?
15 offensive rebounds. I mean, the whole talk
I think
this
the
week
Auburn
is
guards are the key.
I do too. I really do.
But I mean, even the whole talk from everyone this week is shut down the guards, shut down the guards. I think that's almost a positive for Auburn. You let up 16 offensive rebounds to Little Rock last week, and now you're facing a top 10 offensive rebounding team in Auburn. Look, I hope the Tigers win. I don't want anybody to say that I'm hating on my university because I want Memphis to win. I just don't see a way that Auburn has a bunch of success on the offensive boards and lose this game.
That's great analysis. I think
that's
Auburn's got to really shut down Davis Lomax.
Yes. I don't know how much trust this is what is continues to come to me, and it's just something that I feel like is going to be a key to the game for Auburn. Offensively, I just don't trust their backcourt that much. I'm not there on them yet. Flanagan, Green, KD Johnson can just be so inefficient night to night.
Even with Tuesday night's big game looming on the road at Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa, do y'all realize, I think you do, but the Tiger Mania that Monday will be on these airwaves and around town with a win over Auburn. It's been good so far.
Could you imagine a 2-0 stretch here in these next 2 games?
2-0 stretch.
Next Wednesday, if it's 2-0.
Takes Tiger Mania to Grizz level mania right now, Jaw Mania. And right now, that's topping what the Tigers, what they're doing.
Yeah.
But this stretch of games, though, these 2 games in particular, and of course the A&M game once they return home on the 17th, these 2 games are huge. They're so vital to seeding, to resume building. The Tigers have to try to do what they can in these games, at least play close at the very least.
That Texas A&M game's starting to turn into a can't lose.
Yeah, if these 2 games go badly, yes. I think
Even if they go well, you don't want it negated. You don't want it going well negated next Saturday.
I don't think a Texas A&M win does much for you. But I think a Texas A&M loss does way worse than a win.
But if you win one of these next 2, I think that's huge. That's huge,
yeah,
right?
It's massive.
That's why I say if you beat Auburn, you beat Alabama, like house money almost. I think moving forward against A&M. But I do think A&M Tigers on their home floor should be favored. Should be able to win that game.
Yes.
I mean, grand scheme of things.
Isn't tomorrow the first time? Well, maybe I'm just speaking for myself. I'm asking you. I'm asking the audience. Let us know tomorrow, 4:00. Got to get around the TV. Got to get around the radio. It's Tiger basketball.
Yes,
it's Memphis Tiger basketball. I know who they're playing. I know the nickname's starting to mess me up.
Memphis versus Bruce Pearl, just like the good old days.
Bruce,
I can't wait.
Yeah, no, this is massively important. It's going to be very interesting too. Because again, in the end of the day,
the nice people from North Alabama, but
in the end of the day, I think Auburn's a good team. You wouldn't be ranked 11th if you're not a good team and have talent. But have they this year, this Auburn team in particular? Because I think this is the more winnable of the 2 games that they're going to have in a row against the state of Alabama. But has Auburn impressed you yet this year? Have they done anything to just wow you, blow you away? I would say no.
0, no. That 0 in their record. That's
but
it.
At this point in the year, does that 0 really do much? Mizzou's got a 0 in the right-hand column right now.
UNLV has a 0.
Right. So, at some point, Auburn's going to have to start playing some more serious competition. I think this is probably the biggest test for their year and certainly for the Tigers so far this year. So, it's going to be fun.
Be a good one.
Going to be very, very, very fun. Now, we are at a conclusion. We are done with hour number 2. So that means we have one more hour. One more hour on Friday.
Tiger Talk coming up.
One more hour on the week of Sports Time. Hit us up. Give us your thoughts on what the Tigers need to do tomorrow. Give us your thoughts on how you think the game goes tomorrow. 901-360-8255. You can also message us on our social, Sports 56 WHBQ, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But coming up next, more Tiger Talk. Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal.
Hey Memphis, I'm Regina Moore, owner of Chef Flavors. Born and raised in the 901, I have so much pride for my city. So, my husband and I created a product Memphis can be proud of. Our award-winning spinach artichoke dip is on Walmart shelves now, and we need your help clearing the main. Let's show Walmart how Memphis come together for their own. Unlock the inner chef in you with Chef Flavors.
Santa needs a new set of wheels, and he's going to Sunrise Chevy Buick GMC. Sunrise has hundreds of new and used cars and trucks. This time of the year, Santa's a little strapped for cash, but Sunrise has financing with no money down on approved credit. Sunrise has financing for everyone and specializes in secondary credit. The home of the guaranteed credit approval. That's good, because feeding all those elves, Santa's credit's not so hot. A $4 million used car inventory? Find new roads. SunriseChevyMemphis.com, 385 in Houston, Levy, and Colliers.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
You watch sports, you listen to sports, now let's talk sports. Are you a huge sports fan with always something to say but only a few listeners? Well, not anymore, because Sports 56 is opening the airways overnight from 12 midnight to 6 a.m. for people like you to talk sports during their own 1-hour radio show on Sports After Dark. That means for 1 hour, you can tell us what's really on your mind regarding sports. Your favorite sports team, your favorite player, discuss pre-games, post-games, all the games. Let's talk. Orientation is required. Interested applicants must contact the podcast center at gmail.com or call 901-468-3097. That's the podcast center at gmail.com or call 901-468-3097. Amateur and professional talk show host encouraged to apply.
Required orientation is Saturday, December 10th or Saturday, December 17th. Select a date and we'll see you soon.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
I couldn't believe it either, but that thing runs like new.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
My nail tech knows how to keep it a little secret. I don't wish for my success, I speak it. I caught a buzz and you did too, but you tweaking. I look like I've been getting money, how reeking. You smell me, that's LV. Walk around with my chest out of my
Third and final hour of a Friday show. And final hour of the week for us on Sports Time. We Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe. He is Stats. Brian Dakes, of course, producing the program. And joining us now via the phone line for some Tiger talk, Tiger basketball, preparing for their biggest 2-game
23 hours
of the year. It's Jason Munz at Munsley on the Twitter machine from the Commercial Appeal covering the Tiger basketball beat. Jason, how is it going, man? You excited for this weekend?
Howdy, gentlemen. Yeah, I'm yes, this extended weekend of what I expect to be some good basketball. Yes, I am excited.
The Iron Bowl, Auburn and Alabama.
What's your travel schedule coming up here?
6 a.m. Departure time tomorrow morning, and I will should get there around 1 o'clock Eastern time or 2 o'clock thereabouts, and then I will come home on Sunday and then I will on Tuesday drive over to Tuscaloosa and then back on Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's going to be
might be a little tired on Wednesday.
Is it a rule flying out of Memphis that everything has to be before 6:45 a.m.?
I know it feels that way, but I'm not flying. I'm driving. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm actually driving. It's like one of those kind of in between durations, travel durations, where
really is.
It's like you flip a coin, and I'm always going to land on driving, just because it's the holidays, and don't want to get sick. So.
And tomorrow, where you got to stop at the Buc-ee's at Leeds, at Charles Barkley's hometown.
I know. It's not a definite. I might hit it on the way back.
Make it a definite. You got to make it a definite. Come on. Get that chopped brisket.
It's sensory overload, Jason. It's too much.
I know. There's a chance on Sunday. We'll see. We'll see where we land on that one.
I will say, and I probably will on that drive at some point. I might return to Buc-ee's. But I've done it once. I don't need to do it again.
I've done Buc-ee's.
I've done it. I've felt the experience.
It's kind of like going to Six Flags. I've done it.
And it is that level of it's Six Flags level of overstimulation. I'll say that.
It really is.
It's close.
Jason, before in the last segment, before we went to break at 5:00, before we brought you on, I said if the Tigers win tomorrow, before Tuesday's game at Coleman against Alabama, we have full-fledged in this market Tiger mania like we haven't seen to this point this year. Do you agree or disagree?
No, 100%.
Yeah. People are ready for this game.
Yeah, I mean, like this going into this season, we all thought. I mean, it was like people over and over again. People were saying it was the best schedule since X, and it was like before things got going, you looked at it and you said, okay, possibly Oklahoma, possibly Florida State, possibly Stanford, all the like that the NPE was looking pretty good. You thought St. Louis was going to be pretty good, and they are. VCU you think is always going to be like you could certainly do worse than VCU and Vanderbilt and Ole Miss and some of those teams at the NTE, but like it's not exactly turning out that way. The only, as we sit here today, the only Quad 1 opportunities on Memphis' schedule are Auburn, Alabama, and Houston, the two games against Houston. That's it. So like, it's almost as critical, if not more critical than say, some of the schedules, some of the opportunities like last season and maybe the season before that and the season before that, like this, it's like you gotta really take advantage of the opportunities that you have, because you're not going to get very many more. I mean, like there's not even really any tweeners in the American Conference this year. I mean, certainly things could change, but I don't see anybody just going off to the point where they become a Quad 1 opportunity, down the stretch. So, yeah, I mean, like, if Memphis can knock off Auburn tomorrow, then yeah, it's gonna get serious.
What do you think about the chances of that happening? I look at Auburn, haven't really played that great of ball thus far offensively. They've had their struggles, but they hit the offensive boards. We know the talent. We know what Bruce Burrow can bring. Yeah,
I mean, like, they're going to be a handful, because I think they've got, I counted it up, they've got 3 or 4 guys that either start or play good minutes who are like 6'9", 235 and up. So, like, they've got size. And, yeah, I mean, it's a Bruce Pearl team. They are relentless. That's the word Penny Hardaway used in his availability yesterday, and he's right. Like, they are tough, and they're aggressive, and they're relentless, and, all those things. I mean, he wouldn't go as far. I tried to ask him, it sounds like you're describing Houston under Kelvin Sampson, and he wouldn't go quite that far. He said, but it is pretty close. It's like kind of Houston light. Now, they and partially because they don't score it super great. I think they are top 50 or something like that in offensive efficiency right now. They haven't really beaten anybody of major consequence yet. They did beat St. Louis, but they needed like an 8-2 run over the final minute 57. I mean, they were trailing with a minute 58 left in that game at home to St. Louis. So, if that's any sort of barometer for what to expect tomorrow, then figure that out. But no, it's going to be tough. They got a good guard, Wendell Green Jr., who's a transfer from Eastern Kentucky, and then they've got Janai Broom, who Memphis wanted. Memphis had a chance to get. Matter of fact, I want to say I was told that Kendrick Davis had a phone call with Janai's father at one point. He and Janai could never connect, but there was some talking between Memphis and Janai Broom, but never materialized. Obviously, he's at Auburn. So yeah, it's going to be a front court. How things are handled down low is going to go a long way to determining who comes out on top.
What's your worry level with DeAndre Williams and potential fouling the next two games? I know he's done a pretty good job so far this year of staying out of that type of category, but Janai Broom and then he's going to have to deal with Brandon Miller probably against Alabama.
And Dylan Cardwell potentially, and Yohan Traore possibly. All those guys. Penny seems to think he's turned a corner. He's been asked a couple of times lately about, just the fact that he is staying out of foul trouble. And like the way Penny describes it is he got sort of a reality check or a wake-up call when he fouled out against Seton Hall. I think it really hit home to him, his value to this team, the importance of him being on the floor as much as possible, really hit home when when that bank shot at the buzzer went in. You can never say anything for certain, but we can reasonably assume that had he not fouled out after only playing 10 minutes, that Memphis wins that game. I think he scored like 4 points or something. You know what I mean? Like if he plays double or even triple the number of minutes that he did in that game, which is probably what he's averaging, is triple that. It's safe to assume that that you win that game. So I think that's good. That's the game plan for sure for Auburn and Alabama, to go right at him, and not only him, they're going to go right at Kendrick Davis as well. Like when he's handling the ball, he's kind of, it hasn't been easy for him handling the pressure when teams, trap him, or get super handsy, shall we say, with him. He's done fine, but he also hasn't done great. So I expect that to be a big part of the game plan for both those teams.
Jason Munn's our guest, the Commercial Appeal beat writer on all things Tigers basketball. Jason, has Penny Hardaway turned a corner?
I think so. I do. Like even just like when we sit down and talk to him, he sounds more like a coach than he ever has, and not necessarily it's probably just as much what he's saying as how he's saying it. Like he's just got sort of that affect that he didn't used to have. But no, like he's, I think that
really settling in, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that not only just the fact that he's in year 5, but I also think that the team being older and more experienced and more mature and stuff, it's helping him. Having Frank Haith, we can talk about that. A guy who's been a head coach for a long time at a few places. I definitely think that that you're absolutely right. That Penny is he's we'll see. From a X's and O's chessboard chess game. When the chips are down, exactly how much he's really and truly grown. But I do think that, he's well on his way toward, transitioning into that and like taking the step up from where he's been.
Is it not as noisy from the family ticket seating area as it seems like it has been in the past?
So wait a minute. Are you talking about for me?
No, for them on Penny.
Oh, I got you. Okay, sorry.
Friends of, family of.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they're winning, so that helps for sure. But
well, have they been noisy towards you, Jason? I want to know that too.
No, I thought you just meant the general atmosphere inside FedEx Forum.
No.
It got kind of loud in that Ole Miss game. Yeah. But no, I mean, like, it's not completely gone away. There's a couple of times I heard, and part of this was because the gym was largely not very full in Orlando. But there was a couple of times I heard some family members questioning different coaching decisions during, I forget which game it was, but I don't think it's ever going to go completely away, but yeah, I mean, I think everybody kind of is, you just don't have the same type of players on this team, and so you're not going to have the same type of parents and the same type of friends and the same type of whatever else. And I think that it's I think that's part of why they're winning, honestly. I would not discount the lack of drama, the reduction of drama.
Everybody's pulling in the same direction.
Yeah, exactly. And like, there's just not a ton of noise. There's nobody in Elijah McCadden's ear necessarily going, dude, you should be playing triple what you're playing.
Right.
And like, you need to really you need to speak up for yourself, because you would be scoring 25 points a game if you were at Houston. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody saying these sorts of things to these guys. I think everybody's bought in. Everybody likes each other. I mean, I've talked to people behind the scenes who say that this team is gelling so much better and so fast, so much earlier than previous years. So yeah, it's all part of that.
We have talked about Kendrick Davis and what he's allowed Alex Lomax to be. Dirty work guard, certainly better, getting rebounds. He's able to lock in on the defensive end a whole lot more. Doesn't have to do so much on the offensive end and setting up the offense, but it's honestly unlocked a little bit of firepower, I guess. I'll term it that way. Offensively, is he the most? When we talk about consistency on the offensive end, has he been the third most consistent offensive player on this team? Because it sort of feels like that, especially you look at the last 5 games. I think 4 of those he was in double figures.
I would say that's fair. I would give him the edge over Keontae Kennedy. It's close,
right?
And you could maybe even throw in Chandler Lawson, because he's been very quietly good. He's averaging 7, 8, 9 points a game, 5, 6, 7 rebounds a game. I mean, he's quietly having himself a nice early part of this season. But and Keontae has I think that the more comfortable he gets, the longer the season goes on, we've seen enough to sort of expect him to be more consistent as we get deeper into the season. But no, I mean, Alex Lomax, you said it. He scored 4 double figures 4 of his last 5 games. That's never happened in his Memphis career.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's never done that. I think there was one stretch where he had 3 games of 10 points or more in a 5-game stretch, but he's never done 4 out of 5. And yeah, I think that's a lot to do with Kendrick Davis. They sort of, I think after that rough patch that Alex went through, I think that, they sort of each relieve pressure on the other in different ways. Mm-hmm. Now, Kendrick's kind of the one going through a little bit of a slump right now. If you can get the two of them doing the same, kind of doing what they can do best at the same time, then you've got something special, something pretty special potentially. But no, I mean, like, I was pretty outspoken. I feel like when Alo was struggling, saying, where is this coming from? Like, why are we panicking about Alex Lomax? Why are we so angry at Penny Hardaway for continuing to put Alex Lomax into the starting lineup? He's in his 5th year. Like, people go through slumps. It just is what it is. And the other thing is, he's never been a great scorer, as I talked about earlier. Yeah. So, like, anybody expecting him to go out there and put up 15 points a game is kidding themselves. It just happens to be that he does so many other things. I mean, look at it. He's 2nd in the country in steals per game. Number 2 in the country in steals per game. You could argue, if you're taking points off the board for the opponent, that's just as good as scoring points for your team.
I would love to see the conversion rate after the steal. I mean, I know that's getting pretty deep in the analytics. Jason, the Tigers go 0-2 in these next 2. It doesn't hurt NCAA prospects nearly as much as going 2-0 helps seed line. If they want them, if they want them both, what does that do to seed line?
If they win both of them,
yeah,
I think you're talking top 6,
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, like, I looked at bracket guy Dave Amman put out his seed list just, I think, maybe earlier today, an updated seed list, and he has Memphis on the 11 seed line. I mean, look, Auburn is 8-0, and Alabama's number 8 in the country. If you go away from home, I know tomorrow's a neutral site game, but if you get wins away from home against both of those teams, back to back, you're already receiving votes in the AP top 25. You beat those 2 teams, there's no way you're not a top 25 team, maybe even a top 20 team potentially. And yeah, I think that vaults you into the top 6 seed, the number 6 seed line conversation for sure.
Now, I know you do predictions before each game. What do you expect in tomorrow's game?
I predict. This is what I predicted. I published my published prediction is a 2-point Memphis victory. Low scoring game. I think I had 68-66, something like that. I can honestly even see it lower scoring than that.
Could.
These are 2 really good defensive teams. So it could. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if y'all have it in front of you, but I want to say Auburn beat St. Louis like 56-50
or 65-60. I think.
There you go, 65-60. So those. I mean, St. Louis hung 90.
That's what this
game's
going to look like.
To think about.
Yeah.
St. Louis hung 90 on Memphis.
Right.
And like they were held to 60 by Auburn. So. Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game, but I do think that this is a good matchup, and again, I do feel like there's some Houstonish DNA in this Auburn team, and as we know, last few years Memphis has matched up pretty well with Houston.
Yep.
So yeah, I think on a neutral site, especially coming off the way things went against Little Rock. We talked to Alex Lomax yesterday, and he even said that kind of sort of snapped them. Like they're not, they won and they won comfortably, but there was some extracurriculars and it probably shouldn't have been as close as it was, even though it was a 16-point win. So I think they're going to be going into this game with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, kind of a bad taste in their mouth.
Control the defensive boards. And bother their perimeter players, and I think you have
limit your turnovers.
I don't fault you for that prediction. I think that's very, very possible. But always fun, Jason. You enjoy your weekend.
Jason, be safe.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal on all things Tigers basketball. He's on the beat for the CA. This hour of our show brought to you every day by the great people at DeSoto Auto Sales, online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. DeSotoCounty.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. All the cars thoroughly examined, test-driven, checked out bumper to bumper, head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, they'll find that special car just for you. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. You walk in and you're treated like family by a kind, courteous staff, laid-back atmosphere, down-home environment, and they guarantee you this. They guarantee you the ultimate car experience because they care about your time. They know we live in a world today that time really matters, especially this time of year. Find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed, and the ultimate car experience ends in about 45 minutes or less at DeSoto Auto Sales. Check them out online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Read the referrals, look at the testimonials, check out the beautiful cars online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
Now, when we look at the schedule going forward, who really is the X factor to you? Who is the player that needs to show up in the most massive way for the Tigers to be victorious?
A fourth guy, and it can be rotating. I don't know if we have to say it's got to be Malcolm Dandridge or it has to be Kennedy or it has to be. It can be the fourth guy by committee, but we got to have a fourth guy.
Yeah,
they have to. It can't be all KD, all Lomax, all Williams, and then nothing.
I think obviously Kendrick Davis. I mean, I that should go without saying, but I think what we need to see, because of sort of the against Alabama and against Auburn, you're going to have better front court members. You're going to have to see some things out of Malcolm Dandridge. You're going to have to see him probably play some extended minutes and be a force.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can do that, if they can show at least, because we know coming into the season, front court depth is an issue. We know that, but they have to make it a non-issue. They have to try to hide that as much as they possibly can going forward in these next two games.
They really do. Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel. One of the things I love about betting on the NFL is I'm always finding new player or game props that I just love. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook, you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score a gigantic payout. Perfect for Sunday afternoon. And then the NFL, I like Dak Prescott over the passing yards. Tony Pollard, an anytime touchdown in the Cowboys game, and the Texans to go under the posted total. Easy to use, easy to register, live betting. My friends love it, and when you win, fast withdrawals. FanDuel pays you your winnings out fast. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay bet, so lock in your bet right now for the Cowboys on Sunday afternoon at FanDuel Sportsbook. New to FanDuel Sportsbook, sign up today with promo code SPORTS56 for your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code SPORTS56. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Brett making transitions easy once again today. Because guess what? We're about to get to some picks. Maybe you can use some of the picks we have once you download FanDuel. But we got the Friday football forecast coming up next.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Willoshin here for Homer Skelton Hyundai. I love to brag about my friends right at the corner of Highway 78, Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, Craft Road. They always come up with some innovative program that makes you want to just go out and get your brand new car. And I'm talking Hyundais. Right now, you can get a new Santa Fe. You can get a new Tucson. You can get any brand new Hyundai, state-of-the-art technology. You can get that without paying for 3 months. You've heard me correctly. You can get a brand new Hyundai and not pay for 90 days. This just started. It's going all the way through January. You could say a Christmas present, a holiday present from Homer Skelton Hyundai. Again, make your deal and then don't worry for 90 days about paying the very first payment, and only at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
This holiday season, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest gifts from Callaway and Bushnell. Receive up to $50 off Callaway Rogue ST Woods. And while you're there, grab a dozen Callaway Chrome Soft golf balls. And from Bushnell, save up to $75 on the Tour V5 and Tour V5 Shift rangefinders. There's also gift cards for those favorite golfers on your list. Don't miss these holiday gifts and more happening now at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Real estate isn't something you purchase or develop or desire. It's something you appreciate, respect, and know. With real estate, there's no gray area. You either know it or you don't. First National Bank and Trust, a proud division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. They've known it since their beginning in 1886. Clients depend on First National Bank because they know real estate. Brooks Winchester, Bill Samish, and many more can assist you in your acquisition of that hunting land, farmland, a construction project. Let First National Bank and Trust make your dreams a reality. 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, Suite 140 in Memphis, 901-498-5763, or the office in Collierville, or online at fnbtmemphis.com. For commercial real estate, residential construction, or recreational and agriculture financing, let First National Bank and Trust help you. They're a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, where I have had an account, been a friend, and been a customer my entire life. They indeed are, and I am, and we appreciate First National Bank and Trust so much for being with us for these many years now, doing this segment, being with us this summer at SEC Media Days and at the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and we appreciate them so much. But sadly, today, the last regular season of the college football schedule, we will have Friday football forecasts from First National Bank and Trust through the Super Bowl. But today, the last regular season college football game on the year. College football, Gabe leads 42 wins, 46 losses. I am second at 41-47. And Bryant's at 29-59 for the year on college football. So, Bryant, you pick first. Navy, 2.5-point favorite in this classic to be played tomorrow in Philadelphia.
I'll go with Army.
Bryant takes the Army, as John Ward would always call them, like Tennessee was playing the entire Panzer division. I mean, they're playing the whole Army. And I think Panzer wasn't the U.S. Army. I think that was Germany. But anyway, playing the whole Army. I take Army as well, plus the 2.5 Army wins straight up. Group lock?
It's a group lock. Give me Army. I think Army wins straight up. Last year they lost 17-13. They have some revenge on their mind. Tyler Tyler, their quarterback, actually playing some really good ball down the stretch. They beat UMass, and UMass stinks 44-7. But they beat UConn, bowl eligible UConn.
Jimmy Morris, UConn,
by a pretty good margin. Navy played pretty well in conference play, but I think Army takes this one.
Will y'all watch tomorrow?
Oh, of course.
A little bit. Mike Brewer was asking me if it's un-American to watch the World Cup over Army-Navy. Told him I don't know.
I don't know either. I think it's very American to do what you want to do.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna watch every single second of this
I
game.
think that's a true statement.
I think it's American to do what you want, watch what
Good
you
point.
want to watch. But I'm going to watch this game. USA, we do. We all agree. Group locks this year, we were 8-21. So right now, call the man and go against us. NFL, big NFL card for us. Noon on Sunday on CBS. It's Buffalo and the Jets. All time, Buffalo leads the series 66-57. They've met once in the playoffs. First played September 11th, 1960. Buffalo against the New York Titans at the Polo Grounds. Last met a month ago on November 6th. Jets won 20-17. Gabe Kuhn, your pick.
Oh, you're giving me the Jets right here. Plus 10.5. I too big of a number. And I know it's at Buffalo. I know what we're dealing with here. But last time they played, the Jets won 2017 with Zach Wilson at quarterback. Mike White is way better than that. And I think Mike White throws for another 300, keeps it close. But the Buffalo Bills ultimately win.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets.
2 Jets picks and 1 Buffalo. Give me Buffalo minus the 10.5. Noon on CBS. Cincinnati minus 5.5 off the big win over Kansas City. They play Cleveland on Sunday. Cincinnati leads all-time 51-47. This is a matchup of the Paul Brown teams, the longtime coach of the Cleveland Browns, and the founder and his son still owns the Cincinnati Bengals. They've never met in the playoffs. They first met October 11th, 1970, last played on Halloween night this year with Cleveland winning. Give me Cincinnati. Bryant.
I will go with the Browns.
Gabe?
Give me the Browns straight up. Browns own this, and they beat the Bengals 32-13 earlier in the year with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. I think Deshaun Watson will shake off the rust and finally have a decent game, and the run game's gonna take over on the Bengals. And the Bengals, here's the other thing. I think the Bengals are riding way too high after last week. Beat the Chiefs. They're a little bit comfortable.
On the year, I'm 43-41 on the NFL. Gabe is 41-43, and Bryant is 39-45. Noon on Fox, Detroit. Gabe Kuhn's Detroit Lions minus 2.5 over Minnesota. Minnesota leads the all-time series 80-40-2. They've never met in the playoffs. They first played November 19th, 1961 at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington. They last played September 25th this year. Minnesota won 28-24. Minnesota wins again. I'm going to pick 28-24 over Detroit. Gabe.
There are some games that you go into and you have a great explanation as to why you think one team's going to win over the other. And there's some games that you look at the line and you say, this one stinks. This smells. Detroit at 5-7, favorite of the 10-2 Vikings at an indoor stadium. Give me the Lions. There's a reason that they're favored in this game.
And Minnesota plays indoors as well.
I know. I think there's a reason they're favored in this game, and I'm going to trust Vegas favoring them. I think they win by a touchdown.
I'll take the Lions.
That was simple. How about that for Bryant? Both of y'all have picked against me. I can either make up a lot of ground or get hammered. Noon on Fox. The Titans without a general manager, minus 3.5 over Jacksonville. Tennessee leads all time 33-21. Tennessee won the one playoff meeting all time. First met in 1995 as the Houston Oilers versus Jacksonville. Last played last year on December 12th. Gabe.
You're good. Titans by a fair margin.
I'll take Jacksonville.
Bryant takes Jacksonville. I take Tennessee minus the 3.5. Noon on Fox. Philadelphia minus 7.5. Only one loss on the year at Metropolitan Life Stadium in the New York suburbs against the Giants. Philly leads all-time 88-86-2, 2-2 all-time in the playoffs. They first met October 15th, 1933, with the Giants winning 56-0. Check the record on this. Second Polo Grounds meeting, or mentioned today. At the Polo Grounds, last played last year, the day after Christmas, Eagles won then. Giants cover. The Giants cover the spread. Eagles win by 7 at 7.5. Give me the Giants. Gabe.
This just feels like one of these situations coming off a tie against the Commanders last week. It's been real. It's been fun, Giants, but it hadn't been real fun. Give me the Eagles running away with this thing by 2 scores or more.
I'll take the Giants.
New York Giants for me, New York Giants for Bryant and the Eagles for Gabe. 3:25 on Fox in San Francisco. The 49ers are 3.5-point favorites over Tampa Bay. San Francisco leads the all-time series 18-6. Tampa Bay won the only playoff meeting they ever played. They first played on October 30th, 1977. A common player all-time in this series, Steve Spurrier, drafted by the 49ers, later played for the Buccaneers, last played in 2019. Gabe.
Mark my words on this. Tom Brady and the discussion about the Buccaneers heading into the playoffs is going to be one of the brightest conversations we've had after this game. Buccaneers win. Buccaneers win pretty convincingly against Brock Purdy and the 49ers.
Right?
I lost where I was. I'll take
Tampa Bay.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, I do as well. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, gets a win over the GOAT. Drafted 199. He was closer to being the last pick than he was the first pick. 7:20 Sunday night football on NBC. Miami minus 3.5 at the Chargers. Miami leads this series all-time 17-14, 2-2 all-time in the playoffs, and arguably one of the great playoff games of all time when it was the San Diego Chargers against the Dolphins with Kellen Winslow and Rolf Benirschke for the Chargers. First played October 22nd, 1966 in San Diego at Balboa Stadium. You can go visit the grounds of Balboa
absolutely.
Stadium. Good.
Balboa Park?
Yes, very close, yes. Very good. They last played in 2020. Gabe.
Oh, gosh, this is me waving the white flag on any Chargers narrative I had coming into the year about how good they were going to be. Give me Miami covering and winning.
Bryant.
Chargers.
I'm with you, Bryant. I'm with the Chargers. The last time I tried to carry the flag of that preseason narrative of the Los Angeles Chargers. Bryant, give us a lock and a shock.
My lock, Seahawks minus 3.5, shock, Texans plus 17.5.
We're going to make it 2.5 and a first on this show. I think it will be a first. Gabe, what is your NFL lock?
My NFL lock is Seahawks minus 3.5 versus Panthers.
Mine as well. The first time we've ever had a group lock on an NFL lock. We could start a new trend.
Somebody change.
No. What if we got off to a new trend? Your shock is what?
Texans plus 17.5.
Houston plus 17.5.
A lot of points.
Gabe, your lock and shock.
So I have the Seahawks minus the 3.5 versus the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers are worth a dang at this point in the season, and I think that's fair. They don't have a coach. My shock, I think this is a straight-up win, even though Tyler Huntley is likely to start in this game. Give me the Ravens plus 2.5 at the Steelers, and I think they ultimately win it, get to 9-4.
NFL lock for me, and I had it down as 2.5, so that's what we'll go with. Seattle, group lock on NFL lock. And for shock, I had it as 18.5, so we get 18.5.
Perfect.
Houston over our Cowboys. Look at us. We'll do anything for money, won't we?
That's right.
We take Houston over Cowboys. We'll pick Monday Night Football on Monday afternoon at 5:30 when we do our NFL Monday Night Football pick and preview. But that's our picks for today. This has been our Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a proud division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas since 1886 in Eastern Arkansas and now in West Tennessee with First National Bank and Trust for real estate, commercial, ag, hunting, recreational. Contact them at fnbt.com or call them at 901-498-5763. Secure, solid, reliable, stable, and consistent through all these years. They remain so today.
You know, Bryant, with Brett and the Cowboys at this point, I'll always say better late than never because he was doubting way longer than we were both believing in this Cowboys team.
I've always been in search of an NFL team.
How many times he keeps saying his Cowboys and our Cowboys? You know what? I feel like I have more belief than you.
You don't feel sincerity, do you?
No, I feel sincerity, but I feel like you're just. I feel like you're.
You feel like I could jump off the ship as easily as I got on, don't you?
Yes.
I don't
could.
view it
That's
that
right.
way. You're part of the team.
You know me.
Golly, I don't know what it is.
My
I feel like
Cowboys.
I've been here since about week 5, and Brett jumped on 2 weeks ago?
I've been here 5 days.
Been here since the day I was born. Doesn't get any better than this.
In 2000.
2000 after Y2K.
Someone go pat him on the back. That was the most
Aren't we glad we
depressing.
made it through Y2K and got Bryant?
I guess so.
Glad we're here.
Some would say they're not, but
Someone go pat Bryant on the back. Give him a golly. That was the most depressing I've been since birth. Doesn't get better than this.
Welcome to being a Cowboy.
Nothing better than I wasn't here.
Last time they had real success, it was before Y2K. How about that?
Well before it.
That's also
well,
95.
Yeah.
95 season.
Maybe it
Barry
it
Switzer is
coincided
head
with,
coach.
Coincided with my birth there, Brett.
Close.
Yeah,
Close
I was born and the Cowboys started to fail in prime time.
Your fault.
Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it. But this year, our Cowboys. Let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day, final break of the week. And when we come back, we'll put a wrap on everything with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey guys, Platinum Jewelers wants to make you feel like a king or queen this holiday season and all year long. It's where the Tigers and Grizzlies go. Platinum Jewelers specializes in diamond engagement rings and customization, and they have a wide variety of watches, bracelets, earrings, and rings. They'll pay top dollar for your gold and diamonds, and wholesale pricing is available. Platinum Jewelers, 9387 Poplar Avenue in Germantown, next to Fresh Market. Call 901-907-0626. Platinum Jewelers, proud supporters of the Memphis Tigers.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boost on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with the promo code HAPPY so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code HAPPY. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
There are plenty of great reasons to visit Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect downtown bar. The cold beer, the specialty drinks, the friendly staff. But this time of year, there's another great reason to visit Bell Tavern. Escape. Of course you love your relatives. No one's questioning that. But maybe you don't agree with them on everything. And maybe, just maybe, you might want, even need, to sneak out and have a drink or two in a nice, quiet, calm environment where discussing politics or religion is actively discouraged. You need to go to Bell Tavern.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
This is a damn fine automobile, if you want my honest opinion.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Brett, what I learned today is about all the college football awards. We had it last night. Biletnikoff goes to Tennessee's Jalen Hyatt. I thought fully deserved, and certainly was unbelievable for that Tennessee team in a resurgence this year. Doak Walker goes to Texas's B. John Robinson, a guy that I think will be taken as a running back, and I know how running backs are valued in the NFL, still taken pretty highly in the draft next year. Mackey goes to Georgia's Brock Bowers, very deserved. Davey O'Brien to Max Duggan. And then also the Maxwell Award to USC's Caleb Williams. We've seen the Maxwell Award and the Heisman line up pretty consistently over the years. I wonder if that's something that will tell us what we see come Saturday.
I learned that my day tomorrow will flow almost perfectly. The morning radio hit in Mobile, then Army-Navy, then OU Arkansas, Bama Houston, Auburn Memphis, the Heisman ceremony. Looks like Caleb Williams will win. He will join Gino Torretta as the only number 13s to win the Heisman Trophy.
How about it?
Or if Stetson Bennett pulled the big upset, he would join Gino Torretta as the only 13s to win the Heisman Trophy. Stetson Bennett.
If he ends up winning, though, remember the conversations we had? Remember, I was the first one talking about
Outrage Monday.
I was talking about Stetson with the potential to be a Heisman guy.
We laughed at you, Gabe.
I did get laughed at.
We did.
And he's there.
We shouldn't have done that. Gabe, will you accept a sorry from me?
I can accept it, I think.
Thank you.
I think. Now, also what I learned today, real quick before I get what I could have done without, Austin Reed, number 2 passer in the FBS from Western Kentucky, 8-5. Western Kentucky, 36 TDs, 10 INTs, 4,247 yards this year, enters a transfer portal.
Who does he help next year in the SEC if he chose that path? Who does he help? Florida?
Maybe Florida, but
replacement for Stetson Bennett?
I guess there's that. I
Kentucky? Behind Will Levis?
Know who I've been hearing about? Georgia. Hudson Card in the cards, no pun intended.
At Georgia?
At Georgia. I've heard that. I've heard some potential for that. Now, what I could have done without in the grand scheme was this situation happening in Baltimore. Tyler Huntley likely to start for Lamar Jackson. This is a bad time for the Ravens. They've been sort of going on this slow decline. It's a bad time to decline with the Bengals playing the way they are.
Yeah, bad timing for bad play. Could have done without the Raiders' bad play last night. 2-4 in games that they've led by 13 or more. The rest of the league, 93-14 and 1 in those games. Derek Carr or Josh McDaniels or Mark Davis. I don't think any of those three are really winners. I don't think you can win with any of them. Go full Mike Singletary here. You can't win with these guys.
Well, you couldn't win with Mike Singletary.
No, you couldn't. Carr's a big baby, but last night, Baker Mayfield, one of his crowning achievement professional football moments.
It was up there. Also, last night at the end of that game is one of the prime examples of where I feel like, Brett, you and I, we could coach a defense better than that, right? Press man with 20 seconds to go.
I don't know how you
6.
ever think that's going to work.
One high. I could coach a defense better than that. I truly believe in that situation. Coming out of a timeout, too. That's what they drew up out of a timeout. It's miserable.
That is.
I just cannot understand what I saw last night. And I've already mentioned, I just thought that game from start to finish, bad product, unserious, no intensity, felt like a preseason game. It really did.
I hate to see the Raiders this desperate because they're fans. They're great fans everywhere. They've been put through so much. We're going to watch a lot over this weekend. Tiger basketball tomorrow, the biggest game of the year.
Yep.
No doubt. Army, Navy, we've talked about. Heisman, we've talked about 10 NBA games tonight. Grizz and Pistons downtown at FedEx Forum. 8 games on Saturday, 7 on Sunday, and I think the best NFL lineup of the year.
Yeah, really, really good matchups. Very good matchups. A lot of winning teams versus winning teams. Now, I have to ask Bryant. Bryant, what are you looking forward to this weekend? I know you got something out there that you're looking at.
Morocco.
Come on, Morocco.
Sure.
What about, is there a Big Five matchup we're looking at?
I look at college basketball one day at a time.
Okay.
I don't get ahead of
What
myself.
about tonight? What do we have?
Did you like the Queens College pick from Bruce Marshall?
Yeah. Loved it. I wasn't really looking at the total in that
Queens
game. I was
versus High
more
Point.
looking at a side on that one.
By the way,
your side?
High Point.
By the way,
let's throw them in a parlay.
Why not?
8-1 High Point.
They're
8-1 High Point.
They are?
Yeah. Tubby gone. Son in.
GG in.
Winners at High Point. Who knew?
Tubby built the program.
I had no idea.
We're ready for Tigers versus Auburn tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah. Also, Houston, Alabama. That's going to be a massive, massive matchup. And
at the Fertitta Center.
Hey, how about this? Ole Miss versus Valpo. We know about that one.
Valpo fans in town, aren't they? We saw one of them today at lunch.
Man, and decked out in Valpo gear.
And still crowing about 98.
Yeah. That's something.
25 years later this spring. Oh, man, I was there that day.
Hey, is revenge in the air?
Should be for Keith Carter. AD Keith Carter was on. He was guarding Bryce Drew.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
That's tough stuff. But that is funny. We did see a full Valpo, just decked out.
The one Valpo fan.
And talking about 98, truly.
Kind of snooty about it, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was good stuff, though. That was good stuff.
To the victory go the spoils.
Yes, I guess so. I guess that's what we'll call it. But that's all we have for today in the week. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Alan Bell, Bruce Marshall, Ty Richardson, and Jason Munns for their contributions to today's program. For Bryant, for Brett, I'm Gabe. Be easy. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.